Oh my God, Ron, we're gonna need an intro.
Yeah, I
People
know.
are complaining. I dropped an
been-
F bomb.
You did, and people are like, "You can't say the F word."
They're like,
I'm like,
that's too spicy.
What's wrong with fart?
I don't know, but it stinks, and they don't like it.
Bill O'Reilly did. He was like, "F this, F this. We'll do this effing live."
And he's a millionaire.
Yeah, he never has to worry about money again. But we said fart, and they're like, "I don't want to come on your show."
You know what? Here's all I can say about that is fart it. We're going live in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy, the liberal loudmouth, and I'm here with
the real Ron. I love our intro, dude. I love the intros.
It's kind of silly.
It's silly. It's funny. It's very 8th gradish, but I like it.
Well, before we get going, I got to ask, did you share this to the pages?
I'm going to here in just a second.
Okay, go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Go ahead and do that now, and then we'll address the issues we're having here. We might even make a post about it. I'm going to go ahead and make that post live.
It's basically your fault, Tim, because your support of Cuba and all that kind of shit. The FBI came down and they're like, hey,
I mean, if that's what you want to go with, I'm going to make a post.
Yeah, you make a post, I'll make a post.
Now, we do have a special guest today, and we wanted to address some things before we go live. Probably should have done this earlier, but this was kind of a last-minute deal. I'm not feeling so hot.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I know you're not feeling good.
And it wasn't even, about an hour ago or so, you realized that we couldn't go live. Was it?
Yeah.
It was today, wasn't it?
No, it was last night when I was trying to do my tubby time.
Night. Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, Tim's got us banned.
So have you got it shared?
Yeah, it's shared to the Ron. Yeah.
Okay, so, since everybody is able to come, I'll just say you got to go to YouTube.
Got to
make any comments on the show, because I guess Facebook is run by a bunch of commies, and they don't like free speech. And ever since Joe Biden was given the authority by the Supreme Court to basically censor people again, the president in general, not just Joe Biden, I guess they've started banning people again. They got us both, didn't they, Ron?
They got me and you, me guilt by association for whatever they said you did wrong, which I don't think you did anything wrong, though, did you?
Nope. I didn't do anything wrong. I just didn't agree necessarily with Israel. So we aren't allowed to go live on Facebook. That's the problem right now.
That's what happened last night with me. Yeah.
That's why you have to go to YouTube to watch it. So I'm not going to delay any further. We're going to go ahead and bring on Nadine. This ought to be a good one. Nadine, what is up?
Hello, how are you?
Doing fine, though I've had better days.
Today was rough at the middle school. It was rough.
Oh, what was that all about?
Oh, just children being chaos goblins, because that's what they are.
Okay. That's what they call us, too.
Well, are you children?
I mean, it depends on the day. Depends on the day, the time of day. The later at night it gets, I feel the more chaotic I get.
Yeah, but when their behavior is so bad that I have to walk them to the bathroom and we have to walk them to their classes because they're acting like fools. I don't teach elementary school because I don't want to.
And that way, this is high school kids you're talking about. Then.
Middle school kids.
Oh, okay.
So give the people a little background about you, Nadine, if anybody cares. But I mean, go ahead and tell us what you do and where you're at.
I'm a teacher in Oklahoma City.
I'm
from New Jersey. I moved here. Oh
New
gosh,
Jersey.
2012.
She sounds like it, don't she? I'm from New Jersey.
I'm from New Jersey. I moved here because I couldn't afford my house because Chris Christie. That's why. Because Chris Christie is
fat.
He's a piece of shit. Anyway, he passed a law. He swore that tax money for New Jersey should stay in New Jersey, and he fired everybody that didn't live in New Jersey because my husband and I had moved across the Delaware River where housing was affordable. And when my husband died and I couldn't teach in New Jersey where I was licensed, I had to move.
Wait, so because you weren't living in New Jersey, they couldn't pay you?
No, it was against the law for me to be employed there. And it wasn't just teachers. It was police, firemen,
What the
state workers.
Stop. Are you serious?
Yeah, the Supreme Court of New Jersey overturned it eventually.
Okay, I was gonna say
Okay,
that. That what a piece of shit.
But I was
Wow.
I was already in Oklahoma by then. So
Okay.
Wow. That I didn't know that because I don't really follow like local New Jersey stuff, but that's
yeah, I mean, I had teachers that were friends of mine that had tenure, but were planning to move to a different district. I had one friend who got her principal certificate, but she couldn't take a job as a principal because if you were tenured, you were okay. But she couldn't change districts.
wow.
So
she would have had to have waited for a principal there at her district to
yeah, she would have had to stay
keel over or what have you. Wow. What it
so my daughter went to college in New Orleans. So I just looked and saw where can I drive on a map. I put a pin and a line and I really
She went to college. She went to college in Nolens, not New Orleans.
Nolens. Which is just a few hours from my house, by the way.
Yeah.
We intend to go to an NFL game this year because we're really close to the stadium. So that'll be cool.
That would be cool.
I go all the time. I'm back and forth, run ruts on the road.
Y'all talk for a second. I got to share this to everybody's freaking out, want to know how to watch.
Oh, have you not shared it yet?
I shared it to the Ron and to Ron Cosby. If you're watching, you can go to Ron Cosby, Loudmouth.
Okay, I was gonna say Loudmouth should have been the first place.
It is. That's where it's shared to or from. But you have to go to because Tim got our asses banned.
You said bad words.
Now, see, I don't believe. I think they tagged you for something also.
They did. I think they did.
Because if you were trying to go to the Ron page, that doesn't have anything to do with me.
Right, because I own that page. Yeah.
Right. So I think your account, if you go on there, probably says this profile has issues.
I would not disagree with them because this profile does have issues, but I don't think it's anything.
Well,
I'm sorry, Nadine, that you had to be the one that we got banned for 30 days
That's
to do this.
This has never happened before, but this is related to Israel.
It is.
Well, because you're not allowed to disagree.
Right.
You have to support Israel, and there are some states that have laws, and I think Oklahoma does, that you cannot support the what is it called? The BD, oh, for God's sake. Now I'm gonna find it. It's to boycott.
Oh, so there was at least a district court that had overturned that because in Texas at the time there was 25 states total that passed that where they wouldn't hire any workers for the state.
Yeah, it's called it's the BDS movement: boycott, divestment, and sanctions. And I don't know what happened with Oklahoma's law, but I know they passed one.
Yeah, it's horseshit, and the case is called Pflugerville.
Okay.
Pflugerville. Because I think that was the place in Texas that the speech pathologist had been hired at a school or was going to be hired, but they wouldn't hire her because she refused to sign that oath saying that she wouldn't boycott or work for somebody who would boycott Israel. Total horseshit.
Yeah, but that's I mean, let's be honest. You're not allowed to disagree with Israel in this country.
Right.
Not Republican, not Democrat. You're just not allowed.
Right. Yeah.
And I saw a thing, and I have always been, for as long as I have researched this and studied it, I wrote my thesis about it in graduate school. I have always thought that the only way to go forward is a single state solution, a two-state solution.
It has to be a two-state solution. It has to be.
That's what the UN did. The UN partitioned Palestine, so they have to do that. And I'm getting to the point where there's so little left of Palestine that I think the world has to push for. And that's the thing that we don't see in the news in the United States. This is not the whole world all singing the praises of Israel. The rest of the world, a great many countries, are pretty pissed off and have been. And I think we just need to go for a single state. And it won't be but 5 to 7 years. And there won't be a Jewish state because the Jewish majority will be lost. And I saw a t-shirt on Etsy and I didn't buy it because I don't need that kind of hate in my life, but I still might. And it says, let's make Israel Palestine again.
That would be, I don't think that'll happen.
Never.
Unless
ever.
The Arab world just uprises against everybody. And I don't know that that'll happen simply because countries, I don't know, are going to be willing to destroy themselves over somebody who has no resources, has no power or control in the world.
Yeah, the Palestinians don't bring a lot to the table. Let's
right.
be honest.
But and I mean, not their fault, you know. But it is what it is. And that sucks.
If the world pushes for a single state solution so that Israel can keep their settlements and keep all that, eventually it'll happen just by the birth rate. The birth rate of Palestinians is significantly higher than those of Israelis. So if it's a single state solution, we all live in Israel. It'll take 5 to 7 years, and they'll change the name of the country to Palestine, and I fully support that. Because I think Israel has been a bad actor since 1946 and even before then.
Yeah, no, I agree. If people are willing to read the history of this place.
Listen, that's just like y'all's opinion, man. Okay, Israel. If the Jews, this is prophetical.
I'm gonna slap you.
This is prophecy, dude. Prophecy says that Jesus is coming back. There's a valley in Israel called Megadon, where you get Armageddon from, and that's where all these countries are going to come and converge. And it's like, I mean, you know what I'm saying. This is prophecy.
Yeah. And the Easter Bunny brings candy eggs.
I'm just saying. I'm excited.
I tell you the thing about Jesus that I heard, and I don't know if did I hear it from you, that Jesus voluntarily died. So that means he committed suicide. So Jesus is in hell because suicide is against the rules.
Okay, first of all, you didn't hear that from fucking me. Not at all.
Oh my
Not at all.
It's like suicide by cop. If you pull a gun on a cop, you're going to get killed.
It kind of is, though. It really kind of is. Tim, don't you think that's kind of what happened?
I mean, essentially, but I think he was because they called Jews traitors, which I don't agree with, because I mean, you're talking about a religious book, and let's be honest, how accurate is that? That they gave him up.
Yeah.
So I don't know that he killed himself necessarily, but
he could have
voluntarily participated in the killing.
See, archaeologists have a hard time backing the stories of this, conquering of Canaan, even at the time. Like they are able to substantiate that there were Israelis that, or Israel was a place they think that had tribes within it, but they have no substantial evidence to suggest that they at once had this for any length of time any longer than anybody else had it. So
I wonder what Zeus thinks about.
Oh, Nadine, don't do that. Stop.
I mean, it might as well.
What about Pluto? What about Hades? Come on.
Right.
We're going to talk about one god. Let's talk about them all.
There's a bunch of them.
But they're not the real God, right?
And
well,
it depends on who you ask.
They say they are. It depends who you ask. Yeah.
I think you shared a picture of that.
Of all those stories.
Right.
Because you know what? As an English teacher, I'll give you a vocabulary word. It's all allegory. It's all meant to teach you lessons.
Right.
And if you don't learn the lessons, then that's shame on you. But they just keep inventing new gods until people get the idea. And it seems like we're just not getting the idea.
Yeah, it's like Freddy Krueger and all these other like the chupacabras.
Yeah.
And there are in native cultures, they have the little people that'll come after you if you do bad things.
Did you see the video? Gosh, when was it? A week ago? There was a Bigfoot sighting.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't like go read the article in depth, but I was like,
where was there a Bigfoot sighting?
well, where.
California.
Shit.
Oh, was it in California? I thought it was here in Oklahoma.
No, it was in California.
I bet that one guy out in the place here in Oklahoma is pissed. He's like, I put all this money out for this. What the hell?
So to get back to me, so I moved here because my daughter was nearby. It was affordable. I could teach with the license that I had because some states would require me to go back to school and do a couple classes, and I didn't want to do that. So
I got a couple questions for you.
What?
Why did Amanda unfriend me? Why does she not like me anymore?
I asked her that last night.
Okay.
And she said that some of the people that follow you are very mean.
They are
very mean to her, and she didn't like it. And she doesn't need that kind of bullshit in her life.
Fair enough. I love Amanda though. Tell her I said I love her.
Okay.
But she can block those people.
Yeah, it's not. That has nothing. I had. Tim, were you on with Amanda and Nadine when I did the thing?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, it was a great show.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the grants coordinator at the State Department quit very publicly today?
No.
Oh, yes.
What?
The grants coordinator, the one that gives grants to the private schools, or
yeah.
No, it's for the State Department grants, and it was a big long letter. I will
I'm looking it up here.
I don't know if you're in the Oklahoma Advocates group.
Oh shit. No, but I do talk to Jamie Cole quite a bit.
Well, Jamie Cole just posted it in the Advocates group.
She kicked, actually, Nadine, you need to tell her to let me back in that group because she actually kicked me out of that group.
And she has me on ignore as well for reasons I have no idea.
And I just asked her to come on the show and talk to us. So I've invited her.
Well, she told me not to come on your show because all of your followers will dox me and be mean to me. And I was like, what are you going to do?
Who gives a shit? Yeah.
I don't.
I'm not afraid of people.
I don't think we've had a single guest on that people have tried to dox from Ron's side. I don't.
Well, the only person that, and this, I kind of did have a Diary of a Blue Dot or whatever.
Oh
right,
yeah, Laney. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's, nobody could prove that was your people.
Well, but it was. I'm sure it was though, and it had nothing to do with me though.
Yeah.
In fact, I came out and said on a show, I wish that Laney would come on. Tim and I have been trying to get her on forever. She does good stuff. I don't think she does good stuff, but she has good content. We disagree. I just want to have this conversation back and forth. But anyway, and we've actually had more. Tim and I talked about this the other day. We've had more Democrats on our shows than we have Republicans.
Because Republicans tend to only want to do the echo chamber shit. They don't like to put themselves in positions to have to defend themselves. Is what I see.
I sent you guys the resignation letter. It's pretty scathing against Ryan Walters. And the irony is this person keeps saying, I agree with you. I think we need conservatism. I think we need to have parent choice. But basically, you're a terrible superintendent.
Lack of access.
Yeah.
What do you qualify?
Wait, the coordinator isn't being given access to the platforms to give those compliance.
Doesn't have a printer in her office.
Refusal of printer for the grants. What delays in approvals? There have been ongoing delays. Reporting on the. So, well, let me ask, do you think that's on purpose, or do you think that is just pure incompetence on his part?
I think it's incompetence. He's never been a superintendent. He's never been an administrator. Right. He doesn't know how to do it. He's a mediocre teacher at best, from what I've heard.
Yeah, and I love that clip of him teaching, factual history.
Yeah.
when the kind of history that he wanted to ban.
Listen, y'all don't be beating up my boy. I know that. Listen, here's the
Fuck
thing.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Tim and I have had so many conversations about Ryan. I think Ryan, and I love the dude. We had a bromance going. I was supporting him, and I still support some of his policies. Not this woke. I know I even asked him on Twitter today. I was like, will you please define what woke is? Because you keep fucking saying it.
He doesn't know what it means, but he know it's a dog whistle to the conservatives.
To the base, right. And I get that. And I'm like, stop that shit. But I think that he's a good-looking dude. He's young, and I think that he's being groomed to take over something else besides the.
He's not being groomed. What he's doing is he's whoring himself out for the Trump administration, part due to be the Secretary of Education.
Did you say part due or part two?
Part due. You know, like French due.
Dude. Okay.
No,
No,
dude.
I really think he's going to try to take over the Department of Education. Yeah, I do. I think.
Well,
He's whoring himself out there. He is going to be as outrageous as he can so that Donald Trump will say, you know who we need? We need that fascist from Oklahoma.
But imagine, I can't imagine Trump liking any kind of an alpha type character
He's not
or personality.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not saying he's an alpha. I'm saying that he gets out there and wants all of the attention for himself.
That's true.
And
but it could be part of his scheme that he just needs all the attention. So people will say he's the most conservative superintendent of schools in the country.
But I'm saying if he gets on the cabinet and Ryan starts getting all of the attention from Trump,
oh yeah,
I don't think Trump would like that.
Secretary of Education law.
Right.
But I'll tell you what. I have talked to people who knew Ryan Walters 10, 15 years ago and said, he's not like this.
Right. Yeah,
the Ryan that I know is not even like this. I've spent a lot of time with Ryan Walters, and he's not like what you see on camera.
I've met him, and he doesn't act like that in person.
Well, I want you both to nominate me to be the teacher of the year because I want to stand on the stage and be the teacher of the year. And when he comes to shake my hand, say, no, I don't think so.
No, because you're going to start shit, Nadine. I'm not doing that. You're going to start shit.
Hey,
I am.
That's all he does is start shit.
That's what I'm going to do. I did one of those TikTok videos, and it says, like, you're part of the problem. No, I'm going to be the whole problem. The whole problem. I want to be the teacher of the year from Oklahoma who will not speak to the state superintendent. That's
when do we need to nominate you or
I don't know. Well, I'll let you know.
Y'all care if I smoke?
I can't smoke it because I don't smoke in my house. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I just knew you smoked. That's why I went ahead and was puffing on one earlier because usually we don't.
I got one of those. Did you see them online? The fume thing that is supposed to be no vapor. It's just like taste. So let me get that.
No, yeah, show that. I shared this shit everywhere. Nobody is watching though, except on YouTube. But I feel better about this. I'm a little bit looser. I'm like, fuck it. We'll do it live. Yeah.
Yeah, and to the people that are watching, go follow us on YouTube anyway, because you should be going on there.
Yeah, YouTube's where it's at. Yeah.
Build that up regardless. I need to start clipping out our shows too and making small clips of it to put on the channel.
Yeah.
See, it's this little thing that was on TikTok. There's it's not a vapor, it's not anything. It just tastes minty fresh. It's like
does it have nicotine in it?
Nope. It's just for people that like need to do something with their hair.
Yeah, that's why we can't stop smoking because it's the hand to mouth. Like,
how much was it?
It was $80.
Good God!
I know.
And there's no nicotine or vapor or anything.
No, there's no vapor. There's just these little wicks that have
like essential oil or something.
Essential oil and just tastes minty. But you don't. There's no inhaling. There's no smoke. There's no fume. There's no nothing.
Your nails look good, by the way.
Thanks very much. I just got them done.
Yeah, they look really good. Ruby red. Is that what you?
No,
want?
it's like a fall rusty color.
Tell me the fucking Hillary Clinton story. God, this is the whole point that I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay, so I'm a Democrat. I've been a Democrat all my life.
Asshole.
And I volunteered. Like when Bernie was here and Bernie ran for president twice, I worked.
Bernie's not a Democrat.
I know. I worked more hours to get Bernie elected president than I worked for any of my full-time job.
Who is calling you?
Oh, it's Hakeem Jeffries. He wants money.
Tell him to call me.
Because it's Hakeem Jeffries. I cannot overstate the severity of this situation.
Oh my God. That is a real thing. That is a real thing.
I hate that crap.
We'll do that next.
Anyway, okay. So when Bill Clinton ran for president, there was a whole bunch of people running, if you remember. Mm-hmm. And I just liked Bill. I don't know why. There was something about him. I just liked him. I said, he seems like a regular guy. My favorite president is Jimmy Carter, and Bill Clinton reminded me of Jimmy Carter in some ways.
Okay, slow down. Wait a second. Why was Jimmy Carter your favorite president? Because he was the least efficient president we've ever had in fucking history.
That wasn't
never fired a bullet in anger. He didn't kill anybody. He was a good man. He is still a good man. He does things to help people.
Okay.
And that's what our country should do. And that's what presidents should do.
He really has.
Fair enough. Because that is the reason I love Jimmy Carter too, because he is a great dude. You cannot say anything negative about Jimmy Carter. So anyway, go ahead.
You just did.
Well, no, I didn't. I said, why was he your favorite president? My favorite is Ronald Reagan, because he was like, fuck y'all, I'm going to draw some guns and sell some shit to Iran-Contra.
We go from one of the best presidents to one of the worst.
Okay, whatever.
That's what we do on the Loudmouth.
Okay.
And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this, and I want you to do some research. Look at the policies that Ronald Reagan supported, right? And think about where we are now. The people that are Republicans now, Ronald Reagan wouldn't have been in the same room with.
Tim and I have the same conversation almost. I mean, seriously, Tim, don't we? We have the same conversation.
I talk shit about Reagan all the time because
I hate Ronald Reagan destroyed the middle class of this country.
Yeah, that's what we talk about.
And a lot of people don't realize this, but we used to tax the shit out of
rich
extreme wealth, and it was taxed so much that they wouldn't pay themselves, because why in the fuck would you only keep like 10 to 13% of your income, after so much money? And so they reinvested it in the companies.
Yeah. And
that ended up going to the workers or to research and development.
Yeah. I was a volunteer with the Democratic Party of New Jersey. I was a precinct officer, and I picked Bill Clinton as a candidate that particular year, and I was volunteering with the campaign. And then I was hired to be one of the volunteer coordinators for North Jersey.
North Jersey.
It's north. You gotta say it right. North Jersey.
Okay, good.
It's like when you say Woodbridge, it's Woodbridge.
Woodbridge.
It's a different dialect. It really is. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's Woodbridge. Anyway, it's like I have coffee in the morning. What do you have?
Coffee. KWOFEE.
And I particularly love a good chocolate bar.
You are phenomenal. I love
funny.
the dialect. That's funny. Yeah, go ahead.
So I was a volunteer coordinator, and we coordinated. There was no internet. We weren't emailing. We were calling. We were meeting up in libraries and organizing people who would go out and do sign blitzes, who would register voters. We sold material. And one of the things that we got was 10,000 baseball hats. People in New Jersey generally do not wear baseball hats.
Why?
Right.
I don't know. My cat is wiggling this table. I'm going to kill you. Go away.
I love that you want to kill a cat. Go ahead.
Because they don't. Some people do, but generally you're not selling a lot of baseball hats in New Jersey. So we had all these baseball hats, and we kept trying to sell them. We would bring them to events. You want to buy a hat? Want to buy a hat? Nobody wants the hats because we don't generally wear baseball hats. So there was the big push before the election in November. It could have been the end of October. It was in Brendan Byrne Arena. It was giant. It was Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Al Gore, Tipper Gore, and what's his name, who I can't remember, who was the campaign manager. I can't remember his name. Anyway, and
Corona.
Tim, you Google it.
I'll look it up. Yeah.
And we were all there, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people were coming. And I said, hey, what if we give away the baseball hats? And the state campaign manager said, that's a good idea. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck with them. So we brought 10,000 baseball hats to Brendan Byrne Arena. And when people went into the seats, we gave them a hat. Here, have a hat. And so I went backstage before they were getting ready, maybe 20 minutes to go. And I said to my boss, the campaign manager for the state of New Jersey, and he
James Carville.
Carville. Yeah, Carville.
And he was talking to Jim Carville, and who was talking to Bill Clinton and Hillary. So there was the four of them. And I came up and I just tapped him and I said, I just want you to know the hats are all gone.
Wait, and you tapped that to Carville?
No, I said to the state guy, the guy running New Jersey, the state. He was my boss, but he was in a little foursome with Bill, Hillary, and Carville.
Got you.
And
Hillary was there. Okay.
Hillary was standing. I squeezed in between Hillary and this New Jersey state campaign.
Are you seriously? You saw Hillary and Bill and you like squeezed in between them?
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
No.
Are you serious?
Yes.
All right. Continue. So,
oh my God. I know, right? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So it was Bill and Hillary, James Carville, my boss. I squeezed in between Hillary and my boss, and I said, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. We gave away all the hats. The hats are gone. And when I started to leave the group, Hillary got in my face with her finger and said, what do you mean the hats are all gone? You gave away the hats? Do you know how much all this stuff costs? And I said, you need to back all the way up. Don't
Wow.
You did not.
Like
you probably did. You probably fucking did, Nadine.
And I said, I did what I was told to do. We don't need to have 10,000 hats in a warehouse in New Jersey. They're gone. And back up. And
wow.
and Bill said, oh, honey, come here. They're just doing their job. Let them do their job and run this thing. And he said, good job. And I said, thank you. And I walked away. When I went home that night, because my husband used to laugh at me because I would come home and say, I'm so tired. He was like, you signed up to do this. Nobody is making you do this.
Right.
I know, but I'm so tired. And I came home and I said, I just want it for the record. I will never vote for that woman for the whole rest of my life.
Because
and my husband said, I don't think she's running for anything. I said, oh, she's gonna.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I that doesn't
she's
surprise
just that
me.
Bitchy. She's gonna.
She's I mean, have you seen all of the people that she's killed?
There's no proof that she killed anybody.
I know,
Listen,
but you know about everybody knows about the list.
Oh, I know the list and the pizza thing, and I know all that.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, Nadine, you squeezed your way through 13 that were left in Benghazi and Epstein's best friend, and you talked to the Raging Cajun.
Yes. No, I didn't talk. Oh, no, you don't talk to Jim Carville.
Okay.
You don't talk to Jim Carville. But I will tell you this. For as much as I think Bill Clinton was a good president and he was an affable guy and he played, he was like a down-to-earth kind of guy, played the saxophone. Bill Clinton will look you up and down if you are a woman. And I don't care who you are. He will.
That's gross.
He was a lecherous man.
And I voted for him.
Al Gore, and I met Al Gore. Al Gore is probably he's way too smart. And he doesn't know how to deal with he's not too smart. You meet people that are too smart and they think they're too smart. And you're like, oh, you poor stupid fools. That's not him. Like, he genuinely wants to talk to people, but he just can't.
That's Tim. That's fucking Tim.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the ability to dumb his life down to like.
And I'm not being rude to you, Tim. That's you though.
It is, and I've over the years dumbed myself down quite a bit. One of the things that caused this to happen was when my wife met my brother. My brother and me are like, we look a lot alike. We talk a lot alike. We use big words, just
100%.
That's just our, vernacular. And when they first met, my wife says like, oh, he used some big word. I don't remember what it was. And she made like a snarky comment about it. And like, he hated her for years after that. And was like, he was so pissed. I guess it embarrassed him because, he He's a really smart guy, and I got that a lot. People often think you're talking down to them,
Yeah.
and it's like,
And that's what Al
it's
Gore's big downfall was, is everybody thought he was talking down to him. But you can only dumb it down so much if you're that
Right.
smart, that
Yeah.
after a while it starts to feel like you're just being condescending. And he really wasn't. He was a genuinely nice man, but
Yeah.
he's just too smart for the average bear.
Yeah.
Smart. Like I met Barack Obama at the Democratic
So
convention when
what?
he was a speaker. Because I was a delegate to the convention when Bernie was elected. I was a delegate when Obama was first.
See, that's the only downside of living out here or out west, is you don't really get an opportunity to fit yourself into that echelon of people like you would in New Jersey.
Well, no, you have to do the same thing in Oklahoma that we do in New Jersey. You have to be a volunteer with the party.
Mhm.
And then you have to run when it's a presidential election to be a delegate. You have to go to a convention and run to be a delegate. And when I was elected a delegate for Bernie here in Oklahoma. I was elected a delegate for Obama in New Jersey.
So did you get to cast your vote for Bernie at the convention? Are you on the video of when they're going and
Are
calling
you
out the
fucking
state?
serious right
There
now?
is, if you look at when they pan to Oklahoma, there
Are you
is
serious?
yes. There's a big sign, and I will find the picture. There's a big sign that we brought, and you weren't allowed to bring signs. We had to bring it wrapped around someone's leg in their pants. It's a big vinyl sign, and it says that Bernie won the state of Oklahoma by 30%. And we all held it up. And they turned the lights out on us, and they did all kinds.
It's got to be somewhere. Let's find that.
I was interviewed by the Wall Street Journal. I was interviewed by the New York Times after we walked out. All the Bernie delegates walked out.
But Nadine, you have tattoos and you sound crazy.
You were hated then at that moment because they were really.
We had dinner in downtown Center City, and me and a couple of other delegates from Oklahoma were walking back to take an Uber, and Hillary delegates, we're all Democratic delegates, chased us through a parking lot.
No.
Yes. They were hateful to us.
To do what? The Democrats don't fight.
The Hillary people were fucking just
they
vicious
were awful.
creatures.
I had one of her delegate coordinators call me while I was driving to the convention and saying, if there's anything you need. I said, are you asking me to be a faithless delegate? I'm sworn to Bernie Sanders. I was elected to represent Bernie Sanders.
By God, I'm going to find this.
I know. Y'all are communists. Bernie Sanders supported Cuba.
Yeah, so
everybody should support Cuba.
Yeah.
It's a communist socialist state. You can't support Cuba. Come on now.
Sure we can.
Why can't you? We support,
because it doesn't work. Their people are
okay. So that's a misconception. Let me give an example.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's talk about this.
You're like, okay, yeah, you can do that, country, but we're gonna sanction the fuck out of you.
No.
We're gonna make it so that you have a hard time getting fuel, so that you have a hard time getting food and imports, unless we, let you do it. You have to go and make back channel deals to get black market stuff. What are you supposed to do?
I just sent you the picture of us at the convention.
Oh God!
Oh shit!
God,
is that on Facebook?
Tim, you got to pull that up, dude. It's on, Facebook, yeah.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Oh, here
Let me
it is,
see
y'all.
it. Let me see it.
Hold on, here it is.
Nadine is famous.
Oh shit!
She may be the most famous person we've had on the show.
Right there, boom.
Shut the fuck up! There you are. Oh my God!
There I am.
That is amazing. That's awesome.
March 1st. The grassroots. I love that. Oh my gosh.
I just sent you another one we screenshotted that, I believe was from CNN.
Was that hectic? Oh,
it was crazy. Button. It was crazy.
Man.
It was a lot of screaming and shouting. And here was a really sad thing. We were chanting, the Bernie delegates, no more war, no more war. And what were the Hillary delegates chanting? USA, USA. And I said, am I at the Republican convention? Because I feel like I'm at a Republican convention.
Tim and I have been
you were at the Uniparty convention.
Yeah.
Because Bill Clinton and Hillary, to me, are neoliberal Reagan type people, where you get as much money as you can, as quick as you can, and then you get the fuck out.
Yep.
Because, and that's my bitch about Bill Clinton, is that his policies led to just massive outsourcing. Though, to his credit, I think it would have happened regardless. I think it would have, no matter who was in there, I think that was going to happen.
Absolutely. And
we sold, like, we built China using our
100%.
shit. It's crazy. Oh my God. No way.
Yes.
Oh, I am
Pull it
jealous.
Up, pull it up.
That
Pull
is
it,
my favorite
pull it up.
I am so jealous.
Tim loves
is-
fucking Bernie Sanders, dude.
That's the
That
only
was
man.
in Norman. That was in Norman
Wow.
when he came in Norman to Norman.
I remember when he came. Yeah.
That's
That was
the
what-
only person that is like famous that I would ever want to meet.
I was
Bernie.
one of the admins for his whole online thing. I was one of the supervisors for all the chat hosts, and when we would text you 1,000 times, and
That's
Oh,
awesome.
I used to get
sent
those.
hundreds of thousands of texts to our Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I went to they had with that strip club in Tulsa. God, what is the name of it? Not a strip club. It's
Landing strip.
no, it's I guess LGBTQ, whatever. It starts with an S.
I don't know.
It's
I don't either.
it's a gay bar where they have drag shows. and
Majestic?
stuff. Yes, we had a Bernie rally at Majestic.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I went to a Bernie rally there. It was awesome.
We had the Bernie rally in Tulsa in 2016 when he was running. That was great.
Yeah.
And then the next week he came to Oklahoma City, and I wrote an article for it for the Gailey. So I had my press credentials for that rally. Yeah.
Nice. Did you go to the one at Majestic?
No.
Okay. I was going to say,
That
if you
was
did,
at the big arena. What is that called there?
Be okay.
be okay.
Yeah, be okay. He was there.
Yeah, I love Bernie. Bernie.
Yeah. Tim's
Bernie got robbed, and Hillary robbed him, and I will always and forever hate
There's
him.
no way somebody can say that he didn't. The super PACs and all that kind of
Hell,
stuff.
even Donald Trump has said the dude got robbed. The dude got robbed big time. Like, it's like, being the person that put all the cards in the deck.
Yeah.
And you're playing poker.
Yep. Yeah, I've met a whole bunch of people because being in New Jersey, I used to go to Washington, D.C. all the time.
Right. Well, that's what
where
I
I met Joe
about.
Biden on the train.
And you got sniffed. How many times?
I got sniffed. You say sniffed, but not really. He would just come up behind you if he recognized you. He'd put his hands on your shoulders and lean in and say, "Hey, how you doing?" And after got used to it, then it doesn't scare you anymore.
Really, that's what human trafficking victims say too. After you get used to it,
No, don't.
Whatever.
Wow.
We're 45 minutes into it. Let's talk about Israel. Yeah, exactly.
I hold on. I got to pull this back up again.
Fuck off with that.
I love this dude. He's
like 116 years old.
No, he's not. He's 80.
I think he's going on. I think he's like 119 now.
No, he's not. He's 80.
Is that Jacob Rose?
Yeah, but guess what?
That is Jacob Rosecrans.
It is. Pull it back up to him. That's Jacob Rosecrans.
Seriously?
Yes. Seriously. Yes.
Holy shit.
It is.
Man. And that motherfucker won't even talk.
He won't even talk to us.
Yeah. He
here, I'm going to send you another shirt, a picture of
Oh, Nadine. We got to have like weekly Nadine.
Yeah. If I'd have known all these pictures existed, I would have used some of this shit for the promo.
I know. Oh my gosh.
That's at that's at the Democratic convention.
No more wars. And look
because
at look at us now.
They turned the lights off on us, so we all went and found a t-shirt place, and we got t-shirts that glowed in the dark.
The neon
The lights out on all the Bernie delegates. We were like, "Fuck you! Our shirts glow in the dark. Eat shit."
The whole thing was run by Hillary.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh my god,
that's so disgusting to me. That woman, she is the reason that we ended up with Donald Trump.
She is
absolutely.
She lost that fucking
and they still to this day try to blame Bernie supporters. It was the Bernie bros. No, it was her fucking ego. She thought for sure it was her turn. She felt entitled to the position.
Yep.
Well, same thing
Sorry.
with old Elder Bush with Perot.
Yep.
Perot stole the second election from him. No, you lost that.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's
I mean, I have pictures of me with Danny Glover when he came here for the Bernie campaign. So,
nice.
The
Yeah,
lethal weapon, dude.
yeah.
See, I don't care about like stars. The only famous person I would ever want to meet is Bernie. He's the only person I'd go out of my way to meet.
Like
And
I met
that-
Cory
that's
Booker.
proof, yeah.
I met Cory Booker.
Fuck Cory Booker.
Fuck Cory Booker.
Cory Booker was, you know what Cory Booker was? He was a really good mayor of Newark.
No.
This is Cory Booker.
Cory Booker and Hakeem Jeffries.
I'm gonna talk out both sides of my face.
Cory
What's the-
Booker. Here's the problem with Cory Booker. He really wants to stand up and be like Bernie and say, yes, we need Medicare for all. But he is a senator for one of the most pharmaceutical friendly states in the country. He's never going to get reelected if he throws big pharma under the bus. He's never going to get reelected.
Well, we're never gonna get anywhere if people aren't willing to do it.
We have a new Speaker of the House.
Yes.
Yeah, what was his name again, y'all?
Mike Johnson.
So
Mike.
now the first thing they're gonna do is push money to Israel and
Yep.
Ukraine. They're bunching up our troops, guys,
Trillions.
in the Persian Gulf.
Well, that's because half of it has to go to Egypt.
Yeah, yeah.
Seriously?
Didn't we talk about that last time, Ron?
Yes,
Come
we
on.
did.
Yeah, but I was probably drinking. So
It
remind
was
me.
dollar for dollar that Israel gets from the United States, Egypt gets.
So I looked it up, and it's, from what I gleaned, there was no actual writing that this was the case in those accords, but that it was just an understood thing
Yes.
that they would do it going forward.
Yes.
So it was more like we promise.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
we do.
right, but I think Egypt at some point is going to be like, look, we're not going to fucking do this anymore. It's going to be hard for them with being surrounded by, Arab nations, that it's going to be hard for them to continue to not try to do something for those people.
Eventually, I think what's going to happen is the Arab nations are going to say, we fuck this. No, we're not doing it. We're not doing this anymore. We're not playing the Israel game anymore.
I hope, but I also think, I feel like when we put all of our ships in that area, which we've done, and now we've got, our aircraft there, we've got troops there now. There's going to be some Gulf of Tonkin shit happen. They're going to blame Iran for it.
Yep.
100%.
And then we're going to go to war with Iran.
They already threatened Iran. They said, if you do anything, that's it. It's game over.
Yeah. It's all, and here's what I love about this whole scenario is every time somebody shoots a rocket from somewhere that isn't within Gaza, they don't give you the name of the militia. They say Iran-backed militia.
Yeah.
Right.
No matter where they are.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, well, so who is it though? Because you say Iran-backed militia, but that doesn't mean anything.
Well, there's Islamic State, there's Hezbollah, and there's Hamas. That's really it. Those are your choices.
Well, the Houthis, they're saying that Iran is backing the Houthis, and the Houthis now have a 1,500 mile, was it a 1,500 mile range rocket?
Shut the fuck up. What are you even talking about? Who's the Houthis? What is this?
The Houthis from, I believe that's Yemen, isn't it?
I think it's Yemen.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but that's not Iran backed that I've ever, like, they say that. I don't know that I can believe them because there's such bloodlust in our government on both parties.
Yeah.
To go after Iran for no reason. Like,
and let's be honest, we're the ones that fucked up Iran.
yes, and we're the ones that fucked up the Middle East.
Yes.
Let's be real fucking
yeah.
clear about that. Let's be real honest. You go back to the 60s in Beirut, it doesn't look anything. It looked like a Western nation.
And Israel is just bombing the shit willy-nilly. Syria, Lebanon. Like, when is anybody going to say, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Okay,
Why are you bombing these places?
Well, let me tell you, from a conservative Republican Ronald Reagan loving motherfucker, let me tell you why. These are shithole countries that don't know how to fucking run shit. So we're going to go in there and bomb the shit out of them and fucking go and take them over and teach them Christianity and teach them how to do shit the American way.
Yeah. just like Afghanistan, and that'll work out great.
Yeah, and see, how that worked out for Israel in Lebanon, because they invaded
Y'all know
Lebanon
that was
twice.
satire, right?
Yes,
I
yes,
know.
yes.
Okay.
It worked out so well for them in Lebanon that now they have Hezbollah, which has a lot more arms and guns and shit that they can use to attack Israel with, and then ISIS. I mean, the motto for the United States is creating terrorist organizations in the Middle East since the 1990s.
I think sometimes we just have war so that people can learn geography.
Here's the thing. Let me ask this. Let me ask y'all a real question, like a real question. The United States, with all of its technology and fucking intelligence, we could take over the world, I believe.
Absolutely. But you know what we're really bad at, Ron? Nation building. We can bomb the shit out of it. We could take over and your government is, but look what happened in Iraq. Look what happened in Afghanistan. We tried to set up a government, but the reality is those people are not ready for a government. And whether or not you like Saddam Hussein and think he was a monster, and he was, he kept Iraq tight. Iraq was tight. There was no shit going on in Iraq because they knew that Saddam Hussein's going to send his two crazy motherfucking sons to slit your throat and rape your wife. And those people were not out of line.
But what type of life is that?
Well,
people were happy. So, they had jobs and colleges.
Yep.
They had their life, but they knew that you just can't question the government, and you can't be do the Sunni Shia thing because you're going to end up getting your whole family killed.
Right, and that was the problem.
And do you think that's not what's happening? Who banned you for why? Because of Israel? You can't say what that we live like that right now today here.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's for sure. I mean, if you look at the history in Iraq, the Sunnis and Shias have been going at it for God knows how long.
But not in Iraq. Not in Iraq.
Right, because Saddam wouldn't put up with it.
Until we unseated him. And I always felt bad for that man. He was our guy. When Iraq was fighting Iran and they were having
what man?
He was our guy, Saddam Hussein.
Saddam.
Oh, come on, Nadine.
We fought with him. What are you talking about?
We fought. We supplied him when he was at war with Iran.
I know.
And then what did he do that pissed off the United Nations?
Fuck for the oil.
He went into
Kuwait.
And why would he do that? Why would he think that was okay? We were his friends because Israel has been doing it since 1946. And he just said Kuwait was always part of Iraq. Historically, that was our port on the sea, and that's our land. And he didn't think anybody was going to argue differently because Israel had been doing the exact same thing. And we were his buddies. And then he was shocked when they bombed the shit out of his country. And then that was the end of that. And then George Bush wanted to kill him because he threatened to kill my dad. Do
you agree, Tim?
With which part? I mean, there was a lot to that.
Nadine, about Kuwait has been a part of Iran or Iraq or whatever.
It was.
So I guess I don't understand what you're asking me. So, I mean, what she's saying happened.
I know, but she said that, and Nadine, I don't want to be argumentative, but
yeah, that was
Saddam Hussein was a fucking maniac.
He was.
Right.
But so was George Bush.
But he was our maniac. And he was our guy until he decided to get involved with the Kuwaiti oil money. And you can't fuck with the money.
Right. Well, and another issue was that he began to sell oil outside of the US dollar.
Yeah.
Starting in around 2000, they started selling it in euros. And what that allowed them to do was bypass countries who we had sanctioned, because if you need oil in the world, you have to get US dollars to buy it, unless you get it from a place that is going under these agreements for the petrodollars, they call it.
No, are you serious?
We flipped on him. We flipped on him bad.
Right.
Because what he did was invade Kuwait. And it did. You could look it up. It used to be part of Iraq. And he invaded it because he needed a port.
And that was in the 70s, right?
His oil. I forget when Kuwait became an independent country.
That was, I think that
was.
But
if you say 70s. This, then you become a conspiracy theorist or anti-American, anti-democracy.
No. Saddam Hussein said it. He said it in the UN that Kuwait used to be part of his country and it was historical territory and it was his port to be able to sell his oil.
And that's why I went in.
Yes. And then the world said, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. And then he went to his buddies like, hey, Donald Rumsfeld, you're my friend. You give me weapons. You give me all kinds of shit. And then they were like, yeah, no, get out.
So
he had to feel pretty betrayed because he was doing only what Israel has always done. Take it nibble by nibble, foot by foot.
So Kuwait became a country in the 60s, gained their independence in the 60s. So at what point was it part of Iraq?
Let me see.
Before that?
Go ahead, Nadine. Was this like ancient times? Because that I've never heard of before.
Well, it's the same argument that Iraq refused to recognize the country's independence by maintaining that Kuwait was part of Iraq.
The Kuwait, okay, right. So they were.
Iraq refused to recognize their independence.
I see, but then we did because of oil fields, obviously.
It's oil. It's money. Yeah.
Well, that's like one of the first
things. Here's an interesting thing. In the 1930s, a popular movement emerged in Kuwait, which called for the reunification of the country with Iraq. The movement coalesced into the Free Kuwaiti movement in 1938, which was established by Kuwaiti youths who were opposed to the British influence in the region. There's the Brits again.
British, man. God, the British.
Oh, they fucked a lot of shit up.
British fucked a lot of shit up. Yeah.
It was after World War I when the League of Nations gave out all these mandates to figure out these countries and sort them out.
Right. One of those being Israel.
Yeah, Palestine. It was Palestine.
Well, right.
Palestine was a state within the Ottoman Empire.
Why are Palestinians less of a person or people than Israel's or Jews?
Because Israel says so.
Right.
Okay.
And but if you talk about
they try to sell the argument. If you talk to some really hardcore Zionists, they're going to say a land without a people for the people without a land.
Hardcore what?
Zionists.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I want to be clear. There's a difference between a Zionist and a Jew.
Yes, absolutely.
Explain it.
So Zionists believe that Jews have some right to that land and that they are clandestine to go in there and take the land and build their own Jewish state. And Jews just believe in the Torah and their religious books.
Yeah.
Or they are, of the race, Jewish race, which is interesting that a Jew is both a race and a religion.
Yeah. Jew is not a race. Is Jew a race?
Yes, it is.
Well,
it is a race.
How's it a race?
You can search. There is DNA markers that you can search for.
Oh, shut up. Tim and I have had this conversation.
Here's the thing.
You're not a race if you're Jewish. You're a religion.
No, you can tell a Jew typically by the way that they look. They do look.
Even my DNA, when my uncle did my DNA, because I have Jewish family members, it shows up as sub-Saharan North Africa, because it's a DNA marker.
And a lot of people don't realize this.
No, well, if you ask my great grandmother, I was Jewish because the Jewish faith goes through your mother. So my great grandmother was Jewish. My grandmother was Jewish until she converted. And according to my great grandma, so am I. So is my mother. So is my sister. So
we're going to get kicked off YouTube.
I could claim my Jewish heritage and get a passport for Israel. They would throw me in jail immediately, but I could.
Well, so what's interesting is, and I've made this point on Twitter before, it's like if you don't like Palestinians, that makes you an anti-Semite.
Yes, because they are Semites.
Right. Semite is not just Jew. It's based on the language that you speak.
Oh, really?
And the area of the world.
Right. Yeah. So, and they're like, oh, that's bullshit. And I'm like, okay, I didn't write the definitions. I just know them. And people don't like that, but so that's
what does Semite mean?
Here, I'll look it up precisely.
It's the Semitic languages like Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic.
Yeah. So any member of any of the peoples who speak or spoke a Semitic language, including in particular Jews and Arabs.
That's a pretty dumbed down version of
Yeah,
it. There were multiple languages, but yeah, I mean so when somebody says anti-Semite, but they're like, kill all the Palestinians, I'm like, that's
I
pretty
don't think that
anti-Semitic.
normal people in Oklahoma, maybe not New Jersey, but normal people in Oklahoma don't understand Jewish religion, things that are going on over there. They don't understand what's going on. So they're like, we have to stand behind Israel because
it's not
we were
just
told
people
to.
in Oklahoma. It's everybody. That nobody is taught the truth of this. I didn't know it. When I was a young kid, my great grandmother would sing the praises of Israel, and you would like listen for angels to sing because it was like, oh, Israel is, until I met other people that weren't Jewish. And they were like, Israel. And I met this guy. His father used to spit on the ground if you said Israel.
No.
Like, what the hell is going on here?
Right.
My grandmother sing, angels. And he said, come here, let me tell you some things. That was when Israel had taken the Golan Heights, which is part of Syria, and they were holding on to it. And he was like, my family's farm is gone. This is where my family has lived for 1,000 years, and it's gone. He said, Israel these are not good people.
Here's the thing. Like, to me, there's a difference between the Zionists that often run the Israeli government, and Jew as a race or a religion, because
absolutely those people are trapped with their government the same like we are.
Right. I don't agree with a lot of shit the U.S. government does, but I'm not anti-American.
Right. Thank you. Yes.
And that's why this is so suspicious, because Egypt warned Israel. The United States warned Israel, and they claim it was unprovoked and we didn't know it was such a surprise. Bullshit. You have the best Mossad spies in the world. And if you didn't know, you didn't know on purpose, because what is Bibi's problem? Bibi has legal problems from embezzling money. Bibi has problems with the Bibi Netanyahu.
Okay.
He has a problem with the Supreme Court and what he wanted to do that. People were pissed off. He was going to lose his seat again. But you know what? Israelis will stand together if there's a war. So now there's a war.
Right.
And all of his legal problems are going to get brushed aside because we're at war.
Tim and I spoke about this for weeks. And Tim, go ahead and talk about, somebody sent us a video the other day. Some Amish dude was talking about, this is why this is going on.
Yeah.
Wait, what Amish dude was saying? This is, I think the Amish guy you're talking about,
Joe Vaden.
He's an Orthodox Jew, not Amish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of look.
Is he a Hasidic Jew? Yeah, he's a Hasidic. Yeah.
Right. They got
Amish.
the beards and the hat. They kind of look Amish. Yeah, but they're.
I'm sorry, he looked Amish. I'm sorry. He looked Amish.
No. No. But what are you asking me to talk about?
We've been saying this for weeks. This is why they're doing, like, the Wuhan COVID, the protest in China, and
it's like a red herring, but I think there are other things at play here, because they've been trying to go after Iran for a long time. So this either may have been something that was completely done to get Iran, or it's, don't let a casualty go to waste.
It's about Iran, I think. I really think it's about Iran.
I mean, it was pretty immediate. Where'd they get those? They must have gotten it from Iran. Iran must be, funding Hamas.
Everything I hear on the mainstream media is like, Iran supported. Iran supported. Iran is funding. Iran did this.
Right. It's bullshit. If you're on Facebook and you're commenting on the video that you're watching from Facebook, you have to go to YouTube, because we can't stream live on Facebook.
Or terrorist.
That's what they called me.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I can't make phone calls. I can't go live. I can't join any groups.
Fucking Nadine. It's because we're gonna have Nadine on.
Well, it's because I had the World War III page.
Promote that group.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up here.
I posted some stuff that I was finding over the weekend. It's hard for me to post anything when I'm at school, so I'm Because if anybody is spying on my Facebook page, then I get an email from the superintendent that says you shouldn't be on social media during school. I'm like, all right.
What's your
It's
student,
hard to look away.
what are your students saying about the war in Israel and all
They
that
have
kind of stuff?
they're 11 years old. They have no idea. But I had one kid ask me, and he said, why are these people trying to kill Israel? And I was like, do you want me to answer that? He said, yeah. I said, he said, well, my mom said it's because of the Bible. I said, it doesn't have anything to do with
Oh my God.
it has to do with history. I said, do you know when Israel? I said, I'll tell you the whole story, but you gotta want to listen to it, and I don't want to get any aggravation because I know all about it. I wrote my thesis about it. And then they were like, so it's a Jewish country? And I said, yes. They said, well, what does that mean? I said, for example, if you want to get married in Israel and you are not Jewish, you have to leave Israel because no marriage can be performed in the state of Israel that is not performed by a rabbi. So if you're a Christian and you want to get married, you have to leave. They will recognize your marriage when you come back, but there are no Christian marriages or civil marriages. There is only rabbinical marriage in Israel.
Can I say something real quick? That's fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Oh, I can tell. I know all about the laws. This is what I wrote my thesis about. There is a law that if you marry a Palestinian, he can't live.
Oh my God, that's so stupid.
He can't live if you're a woman. Let's say you're a woman, you're an Israeli, you're a Christian, and you marry a Palestinian. He cannot live in Israel ever. Now, if you marry a Jew from anywhere in the world, they could move to Israel immediately.
Right.
If you marry anybody from any country in the world, your husband will immediately be granted access to Israel unless they're Palestinian. But here's where it gets fucked up. If you have children with your Palestinian husband who has to live in Palestine, but you go visit him, even though technically it's very difficult to do so, and you have children, your children, once they reach the age of 12, who have Palestinian parents, are not allowed to stay in Israel. They have to leave.
No.
That is a law on the books. Absolutely it is.
Seriously?
Yes.
That's
Shut
crazy.
the fuck up. Are you serious?
There are so many apartheid-like laws in Israel. People living in Jewish neighborhoods get better rates for electricity, and they get better quality equipment for electricity and water. And it's there that they live in Israel. People who live in the state of Israel have different quality of life because they are Jewish Israelis or not Jewish Israelis.
It's literally like you could define apartheid by pointing at Israel.
That's why is one of Israel's biggest supporters is South Africa.
No.
Yes, absolutely, because they've lived through it.
You know that you're in apartheid whenever you go into a city and this road that you can see, well, you can walk on this road if you're a Palestinian, but this road that you can see, you can't go over there or you get shot.
Yeah.
That's real shit. That's real shit.
Yes, there was the Israeli ambassador to the UN was explaining that that this had to happen because the Palestinian children throw rocks at them.
Right.
Rocks.
Yeah.
700, almost 1,000 people have been killed in the West Bank since this started because they're protesting in the West Bank.
Yeah.
Because they threw rocks.
I know. Yeah, I remember. I didn't know the number, but I remember people getting killed.
And it's funny because people over here, a lot of people would be like, well, you shouldn't be throwing rocks. Like,
yeah.
Well, yeah, but you should also not be imprisoning people and kidnapping their children and doing all these other
Stealing
things.
their houses.
Right. Putting cameras up in their
There
neighborhoods.
was an American girl. God, how many years ago was it? What was her name? She was run over by a bulldozer in the West Bank. She was run over by a bulldozer, and the United States did nothing.
USS Liberty.
Yeah, look at that.
I've got one. I want to play this. Let me see if I can find the short clip for people that don't. Hold on. It's a testimony by a woman named Nayira.
Are you in a hurry, Nadine?
Yeah. Am I what?
Are you in a hurry?
Am I going to hurry? No, I'm not in a hurry.
Okay.
So I'm going to share this. I want to play just a little bit of it. Here we go.
C-SPAN.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, my name is Naira, and I just came out of Kuwait.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
My mother and I were in Kuwait on August 2nd for a peaceful summer holiday. My older sister had a baby on July 29th, and we wanted to spend some time in Kuwait with her. I only pray that none of my 10th grade classmates had a summer vacation like I did. I may have wished sometime that I could be an adult, that I could grow up quickly. What I saw happen to the children of Kuwait and to my country has changed my life forever. It has changed the life of all Kuwaitis, young and old. We are children no more. My sister, with my 5-day-old nephew, traveled across the desert to safety. There was no milk available for the baby in Kuwait. They barely escaped when their car was stuck in the desert sand, and help came from Saudi Arabia. I stayed behind and wanted to do something for my country. The second week after the invasion, I volunteered at the Al-Adan hospital with 12 other women who wanted to help as well. I was the youngest volunteer. The other women were from 20 to 30 years old. While I was there, I saw the Iraqi soldiers coming to the hospital with guns. They took the babies out of the incubators. And left the children to die on the cold floor.
All right. So I was hoping she'd get to that. You remember that shit, Nadine?
Yep.
And to anybody that is watching this, now or in the future, that's all bullshit.
Yeah,
It's
bullshit.
bullshit.
Just
That
like
was
the
complete
beheaded
bullshit.
babies, just like the beheaded babies in Israel.
That
And-
girl
Yeah.
was the daughter of the ambassador to Kuwait. Our ambassador to Kuwait. That was that person's
But
daughter.
there is politicians that are like, that's not bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, they know it now. It's well understood that was fake. That all
No,
of
I'm
that
talking
was
about
fake.
right now.
That
Right
was
now.
the man
Yeah.
that Donald Trump was elected president. They're in the House. One of them's the Speaker of the House.
Shut your face, Nadine.
I mean, they do believe it, but that performance there, that's all you need. That one thing that just pulls at the heartstrings. Is that,
Right.
Oh, the 40 beheaded babies that nobody has ever seen.
Yeah, I watched a video of I forget, was 8 Newsweek Tonight or something, World News Tonight, and they were walking through the village, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was looking because I'm morbid. There's no blood. Where's all the fucking blood? If there was all
Right.
this murder and death, where's all the blood? No blood.
There is no way
They took
that
those people hostage.
there is no way that lady that you just showed was able to do that without just fucking sobbing and just she couldn't have done it because that was absolutely staged. And if you're watching us, the government it's propaganda.
Yes.
Yep.
The government puts on a show. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, don't fuck around.
Don't you
Yeah.
remember Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction? No, he didn't. And we
No.
knew he didn't because we knew that he used them and we knew when he used them. We
Right.
knew how many we gave him. We knew how many he used. And we
Thank
knew he didn't have
you.
it.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Yeah, we gave. Yeah.
And that was that. I always had a great deal of respect for Colin Powell. Always. He was always a really respectable stand-up guy to me. But that man went to the UN General Assembly and lied. And then he admitted that he lied.
He had to go. He had to though.
Of course he did, because he was a good soldier, and that's why they made him do it.
Exactly, and that's what all these people that are going out here and doing they're 40 beheaded babies. They're good soldiers. Tim
Chemical
called me
weapons attacks.
Tim
Yeah.
called me the other day. He's like, they let what was it, 100 journalists in to look at stuff, but they couldn't bring their phones or cameras or whatever. They had to take notes.
Yeah. But they can't, there's no dead anything.
And
I mean, maybe some people got killed. I'm not going to discount
so
that. No.
there are reports, and you can look this up. I'm not lying. That when they went into the kibbutzim, that little town that's, I guess, close to the border of Gaza and Israel, where a military base and military operations do occur, because they're literally, it's like a police state there. That when they've gathered all of these hostages, the Hamas people, and I guess they were lying in wait to ambush the Israeli forces that showed up. Well, they came in there with tanks and shit and started blasting everybody. They killed all the hostages, killed all the Hamas people. There, it is reported that they are the ones, and this is by one of the hostages that survived, that it was the Israeli soldiers that destroyed all those houses and shit, not Hamas.
With bulldozers. Hamas doesn't have bulldozers.
Right. So in this argument,
and how do you covertly drive a bulldozer across the desert?
Right.
You can't.
Yeah. So they shot their own places, because there is this thing called the Hannibal Doctrine that says you can kill your own people to get at the enemy.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, here's the other thing. The UN came out, they watched every piece of video footage that was available to them, and said that they cannot come to a conclusive decision on where that missile came from with that hospital.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, I saw that.
So stupid. That was so stupid.
But I mean, let's think about it. We can't figure out where it came from, but well, we know it wasn't Hamas, because it wasn't even shot from that area that they claimed it was. But Israel at the time was definitely bombing them. So we just don't know. That's bullshit.
We don't know. Oh my God.
And then I read a little interesting thing that said in Afghanistan in 10 years, the United States used 7,000 bombs in 10 years. Israel has bombed Gaza with over 8,000 bombs in what?
And growing in a week. In a week. Yeah.
Shut up.
I had posted on the World War III page.
Yeah, that's what it was. I knew I saw it. So I was like, what? We dropped 7,000 bombs in 10 years. And they have done that in a week and a half.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
they have said that they are going to get rid of Gaza. They don't want Palestinians.
Here's what's crazy to me is that there are propagandists putting out videos of areas in Gaza where people are just walking around without a care in the world. They're shopping and they're doing this, and they're acting like life in Gaza is just fine for most people. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Talk about some bullshit. Even if you are in an area that has not yet been bombed, and I don't know that there's a very large area of that exists, because if you look at the impact map, I mean, they've covered like everything. It's so much bullshit. But here's the bad thing is, like, I put a disclaimer on that page because there's so many videos and shit that you don't know where it came from. There's a lot of propaganda out there. So whenever either side releases something, I call it propaganda, because honestly, that's what it is. I mean, Hamas has propaganda. Israel has propaganda. The U.S., all countries have propaganda.
Yep.
Hell, even Iran had released this video of their underground bunker, and that fucking place is massive.
What's worrying me is
huge.
China. Well, look at me. Look at me, Nadine. China.
Yeah.
Well, so China is, I don't know that they're ready to take us on militarily. I don't think
they are.
I don't think they want to do that, because they have more power economically and through cyber warfare, and could do a lot of damage that way.
They're kind of like Stalin, though. They got more people than we have bullets.
Yeah, but if you're, I mean, you could have 100 U.S. soldiers that have been in war against a lot of other troops and just completely demolish them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty badass. Yeah.
Right. So it's, and the capabilities that we have versus even China now, granted, they have some things that we probably don't even know about.
Right. They're sending all those fucking destroyers and fucking battleships into
Oh
the
yeah,
fucking...
I imagine that there is. If you could see a Google map of the Med, the Eastern Med, it's just filled with ships.
And,
Oh, absolutely.
and this also leads me to believe we may see some kind of Pearl Harbor incident. The more ships they put there.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Holy shit!
No,
Yeah, I mean, think about
you have to. You have to
think about what we are doing. We put 2 aircraft carriers in pretty close proximity to each other, with all the boats that support them and all the planes that support those boats, and we're putting them all in the same area. Did we not learn our lesson from Pearl Harbor? And which, by the way, I think was done on purpose to gather support to get us into the war, but that's a conspiracy.
Yeah, that's
here's the one thing that I have heard, and it's not unlike it was a surprise attack. I think that probably somebody heard something.
Oh, they had to have.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they did it on
that
purpose.
Many planes that far,
because
everybody knows.
Even at that time, our Navy, our Navy is the supreme Navy of the world. I mean, it's been like that since World War I, really, but definitely after World War II, because we didn't suffer the losses that all these other countries did. So we started the race fucking almost to the goal line. So when everybody else is rebuilding, we're off, and our Navy was massive. Yeah. So there's no way, in my opinion, that militarily we would have thought that it would be totally fine while a war like that is going on to bunch up all of those ships into one little space like that.
Yeah.
And not include the 4 aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we didn't have aircraft carriers at that time. That was when they created the aircraft carrier, was after that, because they had to figure out a way to get the bombs to Japan. Right? Isn't that the way that we created?
No, we had 4 aircraft carriers in World War II. They weren't at Pearl Harbor, though.
Maybe it was the type of plane that we could launch from the aircraft carrier.
Right.
That changed.
Yes.
Because I know that, and maybe I'm just gleaning this from the movie. Remember when they kept having to test it out because they couldn't get it up because it was too heavy?
That's what she said.
Ron.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Nadine. I'm so sorry, Nadine.
Oh my God.
Apparently there were heavier than air fixed wing airplanes in 1910, 1911. They landed it on a cruiser of the USS Pennsylvania.
That's crazy.
Wow.
A biplane. Holy
in 1910.
Shit.
That's insane.
That is insane.
Okay, so then we definitely would have had an aircraft carrier. I think the moment they realized, shit, we can land some planes on this bitch, they were like, let's figure that out.
So what are your predictions for, Nadine? What are your predictions for, are we going into World War III, or is the rapture fixing to happen? What's next?
Well, Ron, I hate to break it to you, but the rapture is bullshit. But and if it was,
damn,
would we please suck up these fucking Christians so I could live a much more peaceful life?
Stop, Nadine. Stop.
Let's go. Turn on the heaven vacuum and suck them the fuck up. And then I'm going to go discover me a beautiful house in Edmond with a beautiful Cadillac Escalade in the garage.
Nadine, you teach children stop, Nadine. You teach children stop.
I do.
You're in the middle of America. You're not in New Jersey anymore.
I'm sorry. I've got to agree with Nadine on this one.
My God.
If Christians want to go to Jesus,
go hang out with zombie Jesus.
I will.
Ryan Walters be the first one. He could lead with his sword.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yes, I'm one of the 4 horsemen.
Yes, here he comes. Let him in. Hurry up.
Hurry. Okay, if Ryan Walters was one of the 4 horsemen, which one would he be?
Y'all are going to be in hell. Y'all are going to be in hell.
And we're going to have a really fun party, and you will miss it.
Okay,
no, I'll be there with you.
No, for real question. Maybe we should ask
real. For real, I'll just be dead, and you will be dead too, and we won't even be thinking about it because we'll be dead.
Oh my God.
Well,
okay, since we're talking about this, let me ask, have you guys ever watched Supernatural?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I have.
So
I have.
Nadine, you might actually like that. It's got
Oh,
a
it's
lot of
It's
religious
so good.
Yeah.
things to it. It's really like it's kind of corny. Actually, it's really corny.
Yeah, it's
But
like a
it,
comedy, fucking like yeah, but
but
it's
God,
really good.
it went on for like 20
Yeah.
fucking years or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it was a long running show.
Did you ever watch Dogma? I love Dogma.
Yes,
Oh,
Dogma.
yes.
It's kind of similar to Dogma. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, which horseman would he be? Ron, what do you think?
I don't know anything about the Horseman.
You've got what is
But
it?
but
You've
okay.
got
so you
the
don't make any
plague.
sense.
You've got the plague. You have death, right?
I don't know. Y'all are the
Let me-
Christians. What's up
Let me look it up. What are the 4 horsemen
of the apocalypse? Yeah.
of the apocalypse?
Death, famine, war, and conquest.
Okay, death, famine, war, and conquest. Okay,
I would be the
Glorious
conquest.
I would be the
Oh,
conquest.
you think it's famine? I would
I
go
think
with conquest.
Ryan is famine. He's for sure
Oh,
famine.
Trump would be conquest.
Trump
'cause
will be
he's-
conquest. Yeah.
He's all about winning. Jeez.
Let me just
Yeah.
say this.
Ryan is
Doesn't-
famine because he just wants to starve everybody of everything that he had the ability to get. A
Listen,
good education.
Nadine.
book.
Listen, Nadine. That's just because you're a teacher. Stop. Okay. Stop. Just for a second.
And I'm the president of my teachers union.
You are. I love your hair. Can you do like this over your right eye?
Don't do
there
it.
You go. Yeah, do it. Okay.
Don't listen to him.
Okay. No. This is fucking ignorant that we're even talking about this.
Yeah, but it's fun because see now we're not on Facebook.
I
We're
know.
just on YouTube.
I know.
Way
know.
fewer people are going to watch this, and for that, Nadine, I apologize. That's probably my fault.
Yeah. It is your fault, Tim. Fucking terrorist.
Yeah, I mean, call me what you will. Mark Zuckerberg. I got.
One time when Ronald Reagan was president, you're gonna love this, Ron.
Tell me.
I was mad at Ronald Reagan, so mad. And my friend was going to college in DC. So I went to visit her and I went to the White House, right to that little booth. And I knocked on the glass and I said, "Hello, I am going to be in Washington, DC for the next 5 days. And I would like to make an appointment to meet with the president as one of the people who is of the people, for the people, by the people. And so tell me when he's available. I will be available 24 hours a day. You tell me when, I will come here. You can search every part of my body. I want to talk to the president, and I think I have that right." And they're like, "No." And I was like, knock, 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 knock. And I was like, get somebody else. Get somebody from the president's. And I was there for a long while. And finally, a Secret Service guy, and I know that because he had the little thing and he said, "Ma'am, what's going to happen next is you're going to get arrested. You're not going to meet
Shut the fuck up."
He said, "You're not going to meet with the president and you're going to leave or you're going to get arrested. Do you understand me?" He said, "I'm trying to be as serious as I can." And I said, "Yes, I do." He said, "Be on your way." And I said, "Okay."
Wow.
Why didn't you get arrested, Nadine?
Yeah, you
Because I
should have
left.
pushed that one. I mean,
Because I was 19 and I was afraid.
Yeah, think about that. Like, this is a free country, and you go to request an appointment with the president. Which, I mean, let's be honest, he can't meet with everybody that wants to talk to him. But to arrest somebody for being annoying and just continually asking for an
I think that Tim has been arrested, or not arrested, but banned for being annoying. But that's the people's house.
Hey, I got arrested twice in New York City for protesting George W.
Oh my God, you have been arrested.
Were you? Was that?
Stop!
During the,
oh my God, Nadine, you've been arrested.
The 99% protests.
It was the Republican convention when it was in Manhattan, and we had a permit, but as we were assembling, they pulled the permit, so that got thrown out. But I got arrested, and they kept us in a bus depot. People were passing out from the fumes. It was awful.
Have you been in jail?
No, I have only been in parking lot jail.
You don't know nothing about jail.
And I got twist tied behind my back, sitting in a parking lot. And then when the Iraq war, it was March, and I remember it was freezing cold. When I tell you it was freezing cold, it was 5 degrees, 10 degrees. And George Bush went to the UN to make his case, like, we have to America, and
I remember
And-
that.
Yeah,
And
I did.
we were
yeah.
not allowed to have a sign, but we had signs again rolled up in our pants, and we pulled them out and held them up. And they are because it was a free speech zone. We weren't in a free speech zone.
I love that.
I hate that. That's so stupid.
I mean,
So they
being
arrested
sarcastic.
us, and they took us somewhere and put us in a parking lot under a highway with razor wire in a circle, and we just all sat there in the freezing fucking cold until they came, and then they just gathered up the razor wire, cut our twist ties, and said, "You're free to go." It's like, where are we? And I remember the cop said, "Figure it out."
Wow.
You've been at this a while then.
Since for my whole life, my parents were hippies.
That's
Fucking
War.
hippies.
Peace,
God damn.
peace, and love. My mother had a bumper sticker on her car that said, "Sisterhood is powerful."
I'll tell you this. I came home one day. I was like 16, 17 from high school, and I had drew a peace sign on my trapper keeper.
Yeah.
And my father saw it, and he's like, hippies used to draw that on stuff in Vietnam.
Yeah.
That was it.
wait now. Okay, start over again. I think I missed something there.
I came home from school in high school. I was like 16, and I had drew a peace sign. I was like, "Look, Dad, I made." And he's like, "Yeah, hippies used to draw that shit on stuff in Vietnam."
Wow. Yeah, they'd put it on their helmets and shit.
Yeah,
I've got a story.
Tell us the story, Tim.
You've heard this story before, Ron. Nadine, are you familiar with in-school suspension?
Oh, yes. I was in school suspension a lot.
I bet you were.
Are you in favor or against in-school suspension?
I think it serves a purpose.
Don't be political.
No, I think yes. There should.
What purpose does it serve?
So
It keeps doesn't send. Sometimes kids don't have a good place to go when they get suspended, so this keeps them in school. I think it's better than out of school suspension, quite frankly.
well, do you
Okay.
think there should be a limit to the amount of time a kid spends in school
It
suspension?
depends what an asshole they are.
Listen
Okay,
to
so-
Tim's story. Oh my God, this is so good. Go ahead.
So
I'm sorry, Tim. I'm excited. I
So
know.
from one year to the next, I never like got into fights and shit. I mean, I'd been in fights, but that wasn't the issue that the school had with me. They hated my mom, really, and they hated me because I was dealing with a lot growing up. So my emotions were kind of all over the place.
Give
And
a little bit
instead
of context. Why did I mean?
well, my dad was an asshole. I'll just say that. I was homeless for a year of
Yeah.
of my life, lived on a river in a tent. And all this is going on while I'm trying to go to school. Well, so from one year to the next, the year before, they told me if you get in trouble again, you're going to be in school suspension for like the rest of the year. And it wasn't even like a month into the school year, maybe a few weeks. And all the kids around me knew because I had told them what they'd told me, and maybe that was my mistake. So this group of girls said that I, hit them, which is just bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Because one of them I was dating, and she got upset because I broke up with her.
Okay.
And then so her and these
Bitch on
girls
bitch violence.
go in there, and they put me in school suspension for the entire school year. And we're talking brick wall, nothing on the wall. You had to eat your food in there all day.
When I was in school, we had to eat. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would go in there in this fucking prison cell every day for the rest of this school year. But I even got in trouble while I was in there because I was talking, and they set me at the fucking front of the room next to the teacher, put a fucking cubicle in front of my chair. So I'm facing the class, but I can't see anybody because I'm behind this cubicle, and directly behind me is the brick wall. That was fucking horrific. That was absolutely.
And how long
insane.
was that? Were you there?
It's the entire school year minus like
year.
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, the year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's not good. See,
Yeah.
what we do with kids now is they have like night school if you get kicked out, if you get suspended. Like we've had kids that been suspended for like 20 days and they have night school that you can go to.
So I'll give you an example.
I always got an ISS because I was smoking somewhere. And then what we used to do is they had It was the makeup room that was attached to the auditorium for the plays that we did. And that's where ISS was. So what we used to do is we used to take meth, and then we would sit and stare at ourselves in the mirror all day. It was fun. It made it fun. It made it fun.
So I'll give you an example of how ridiculous that school was towards me. And I think a lot of it was because of my mom, because she was like me, or I guess I'm like her. I got suspended or put in school suspension for like 2 weeks for borrowing a pencil. I shit you not.
No, don't.
Yeah, I
don't
swear to
say it
God.
like that. Just tell the story though.
Okay, so this class, because we had football practice at like right before lunchtime. So I'd go to football practice, I'd do lunchtime, and then I'd go to this class. And I don't know why, but I would always lose my pencils from the time I'd get to school to the time I'd get there. I just would lose my pencil. So I would ask somebody, hey, you have a pencil? And they'd loan me a pencil for the class. Like, it wasn't even a big deal, but this went on for, I don't know, a little while. And the teacher said, stop doing this. Stop borrowing pencils. You have to come to class with your pencils. Well, I would forget now and then, or lose my pencil now and then. So then I had to go in front of the fucking principal and the superintendent with my mother and sign a contract saying that I will not show up to class without the proper whatever, blah, blah, blah bullshit. So I go in there and I'm like, oh, fuck, because I don't have a pencil. At some point thereafter this contract.
Yeah.
So I turned to this girl and I'm like, hey, do you have a pencil? And the teacher, her fucking name was Marcella Morton. This woman was a fucking beast. She was a terrible person. Marcella Morton.
She's probably a Republican.
So anyway, so she catches it. This woman had fucking like hawk eyes or some shit. And not only did I get in school suspension, the girl that loaned me the pencil got it too. Because
I got in school suspension once because I burned my hand on a cigarette. Because funny. There was always the teachers, like, you open the bathroom door and you say, it's all right, it's all right, it's all right. And then all the gym teachers used to just say, ladies, come on out, except this one teacher who always used to do, it's all right, and walk in and catch you. And I just had a cigarette, and you always used to smoke your cigarette like this. Where's my fake cigarette? Smoke it this way. So you can hide it. So you can hide it.
Nice.
But she came in and I saw her in the mirror come around the corner, and I just smashed my hand against the brick wall. But your hand doesn't really go completely flat.
Right.
So now I got this cigarette burning a hole in my hand. And this was before they put the chemicals in them that would let them burn out. This is when cigarettes would burn all the way down. And and she was like, are you all right, Nadine? I said, I'm good. And I just kept trying to push harder against the wall to push it out. And she was like, let me see your hands. And I held up my hand. And she said, let's go to the office. And I said, I think I should go to the nurse. And she said, no, I think you should go to the office.
Yeah, the office was the best choice because you need to learn a lesson, Nadine.
And when the principal said, what are you doing here? And I said, I burned my hand. And he said, you're here because you burned your hand? I said, yeah, look. And he said, why isn't she in the nurse's office? And she said, tell him what you burned your hand on.
Right. Yeah.
That's funny. That is funny. I've gotten in trouble for smoking at school as well, several times. That was, of course, back in Westville. That was in Westville that all that happened with. Those people fucking hated me.
They fucking hated you.
Is that Oklahoma?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Marcella Morton. Man,
I'm not familiar with
still alive?
Oklahoma places.
I don't know, but I don't know. But that woman left such a. And I sent her a message once because this bitch every now and then comes in my mind, and I'm
don't
like,
say the word bitch.
Why do you fucking no? That's what she was. It's like, why, and my logical side is, why do you even, let these thoughts take over? But, you think about shit from your childhood and you kind of re-feel how you felt in that situation. I'm like, why did she fucking hate me so much? She would literally in front of class, she would call me names. She would point me out. She would yell at me. I mean, but again, I wasn't the greatest child, but nobody just sat me down and asked what's wrong.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Right.
They didn't. That's why when it comes to like counselors and shit in school, that's why I'm in favor of that, because if I'd had something like that,
Yeah.
My time at school would have been vastly different than it was, because I might have been, to have somebody that would be there to.
Teachers always say that, and people like, oh, you're so liberal. Kids who are loved at home come to school to learn, and kids who are not loved at home come to school to be loved, and that you can't Maslow.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good, Nadine. That's so good.
And there's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where it's like you have to be safe, and you have to have food, and you have to live indoors, and then there is you can't Maslow before you can't. Oh, now what is it?
Yeah, don't fuck up right now, Nadine. Come on.
No, I'm not gonna. You can't Maslow.
How many tattoos you got?
Let's see. I have one. This tattoo on my back is across my whole back. Oh, so there's Bloom's taxonomy. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Bloom's taxonomy is all the words of like, it's first you understand and you comprehend, and then it works up to you analyze. And the thing is, you can't bloom until you Maslow. So you can't have kids come to school who are not safe at home, who do not have food, who do not have somewhere to sleep at night, who don't have shoes, who don't have a coat, and they don't have a good family environment. And you can't expect to teach those kids because they're not even safe in their home. So they're coming to school to be safe. So you have to give kids a safe place to be, and then you can teach them. But until kids feel like somebody gives a shit about them, they're not ready to learn anything. I could teach you all day long, but if you don't know where your next meal is coming from and you live under a bridge, it's not going to serve any purpose because you don't feel safe in your life.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with a lot of social emotional learning. We can't do that. Why the fuck not? Some of these kids are walking around like wild animals because they're raised in that environment that makes them feel unsafe.
Can I say this?
What?
The social emotional learning, the SEL stuff.
Yeah.
That's fine. But when you start incorporating the diversity, whatever it is,
equity and inclusion
into that, then that becomes a problem.
But there's conspiracy behind that as well, and I don't know how much of the conspiracy is true or not. Anybody can take language and turn it into something it's not. Look at Pizzagate.
I mean, I read my kids every year. The first book we read is a book called The 100 Dresses. It's a little tiny short book, and it's about bullying. And what I use that to is teach my kids that bullying doesn't look what you think it looks like. It doesn't look like being pushed down. It doesn't look like getting punched. It just could look like being made fun of and being ignored. And I also do it because one kid said, I feel bad for her. And I said, feeling bad for someone is having sympathy. You can feel bad and be sympathetic. But when you have empathy for someone, when you really embrace it and say, I can understand how you feel because I have felt this way, that is a deeper connection with somebody than just having sympathy. I could feel bad for people all day long, but I'm going to go home to my house and turn on my heat and eat, some food out of my refrigerator. But if you haven't never been there and you've never experienced something, you really can't have true empathy for someone.
Let me ask you this. Talking about bullying, do you not think that bullying has a place in society? Do you not think that Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk were bullied when they were young? And that drove them? I
think bullying now and bullying then are completely different.
Okay.
Bullying now is, it's social media. It never stops. See, it used to be if you were bullied at school, you went home, you played in your neighborhood with your friends, you were in your house, and there was no bullying happen. If I'm bullying you on Instagram, that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never stops.
I agree.
It follows you everywhere you go.
I agree.
Yeah, and kids have committed suicide over bullying online. Even fucking adults bullying other kids.
I mean, these kids in my school take pictures of shoes and they make fun of kids in their shoes. And it's the shoes of Crooked Oak. And it's like, are you kidding me?
It's funny. I used to make a joke about my shoes because we were poor as fuck. Mm-hmm. And half the time I would have shoes that had holes in them. And I would joke, I'm like, yeah, you guys just wish you could have a pair of air conditioned shoes like me.
Right.
You know, I used to have to say shit like that because otherwise I would, you know, kind of feel like shit. But then
Yeah.
if everybody's in on the joke, you know, it's not so bad. But
it's the difference in the time, right?
Yeah.
The internet has just blown the bullying up.
Yeah, because it never stops, and it's more mean. It used to be that kids used to make fun of you because you wore glasses, because you were fat, because
Right,
your
right.
parents, because you got braces.
And
now
that taught you how to like stand up for yourself and be like, fuck you, I got glasses, so what? Let's throw.
But now it's about literally anything.
right.
It's you have a pimple, and then it's
And it
on
become a
Instagram.
national thing.
And then somebody photoshops the pimple so it's gigantic, and then other people say, "Look at that," and then it never stops. And while you're trying to go to sleep so you could come to school tomorrow, people just keep sending you pictures and pictures and pictures. And
So
pictures.
why can't we have a discussion with legislators to talk about the real shit? Like, we have internet now. Everybody can Photoshop and AI and do all this stuff. I mean, Tim does some amazing shit with AI.
I do. I have both of my semester exams were done with AI.
Yeah, he's got a great picture.
I typed in create an Oklahoma 6th grade ELA standards covering the following topics, and it made my exam.
Shut the fuck up. Thank you for that, Tim. You can appreciate that, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's the shit you can do with that is amazing. So what I'll do now is I'll take an article and I'll copy it and I'll paste it in there and I'll be like, summarize this, and it'll fucking summarize it.
There's a website where I can put in a YouTube video and say design questions related to this YouTube video.
Yes,
God,
there's a Chrome extension that does that also.
Yeah.
It'll go to a web page,
Yep.
and if you click the button, it'll bring up a questionnaire over that web page.
Yep.
Based on the content. It's pretty awesome.
Do your kids know about this?
Some of them. I don't use a lot of computers in my classroom because I teach writing and I want them to just write.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
for that.
I
make all my papers and all my essays and all my paragraphs have to be written on paper.
Yeah.
And then when they're turned in, they have to be typed because I don't want them to plagiarize it.
Yes.
And they write.
Yeah, it's going to be so easy now. I wonder if we'll get to the point where AI will be like a calculator became.
Right.
Where, you know, okay, you can bring it, you can use your calculator for, you know, for these kinds of things. I wonder if that'll ever be the case, because now, like, damn, I feel bad because writing has always been a strong suit of mine. I've always been a good writer, but now I'm like, fuck,
you don't have to. But AI will tell you if it wrote something. So like if I give you an assignment and Ron, you write it, but Tim gets AI to write it. And I'm like, this doesn't sound like Tim. And I cut and paste it and I put it in AI and say, did you write this? It will say, yes. 85% of it has been written by an AI.
No, really?
Well, so, but here's what you can do is you can take each of those paragraphs and you can have it rewritten, and then you can go through and rewrite.
And then rewrite it, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, there's ways around it. And because I feel bad whenever I post anything that was AI written, because I'm like, it feels so fucking lazy. But at the same time, it's like, man, why spend 45 minutes reading this and then coming up with an outline and writing an essay on it?
Yeah.
When I can just fucking paste that shit into Chat GPT.
It's efficiency, yeah.
And spit
but Ron,
it out.
I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I have technically 5 tattoos, but I have this tattoo that you can see on wait.
Yeah, that's the one on the not the right shoulder. That's a huge tattoo. I want the one.
This goes across my whole back.
Don't be showing me your boobs. I just want this right here.
Showing my boobs. This
right
is
here.
It's a fern and lavender.
And it goes all the way around.
It goes all the way around. And then this shoulder is a poppy. And then there's other flowers on my back and leaves. And then there's little jewels. And there's 3 of them. One for my daughter, my husband, and myself, our birthstones.
Oh, okay.
And then I have this one, which is a memorial for my husband that just says everything.
My mom.
There you go. See, and you wrote, it was, all the kids got tattoos for my husband. And I said to my art teacher several years ago, many years ago, and I said, I don't have a tattoo for my husband, but I have tattoos. She said, well, what do you miss the most? And I said, everything. And I said, because I keep cards in shoe boxes. I'm that person.
Is your husband gone? Has he passed?
Yeah, he passed.
When?
2008.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you. So I came home and I opened up that box of all the cards he ever gave me and letters, and I said, surely somewhere he wrote the word everything. So this is his handwriting.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. I didn't know I thought your husband was still alive.
No, he died 15, almost 16 years ago.
How old was he when he died?
He was 62. My husband was 18 years older than me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, wow. He liked the younger girls. Huh?
Well, I was his secretary.
Oh,
one of those. Okay.
Okay, Nadine. Okay.
And here, I'm going to tell you a funny story, because one night we were sitting around and I said, whoever would have thought that this would have happened? And he said, not you, apparently. And I said, what's that supposed to mean? He said, do you have any idea how many times we sat in that office 9, 10 o'clock at night working on reports? And I would say, do you want to get out of here? And what would you respond, darling? And I said, do you want to go to the diner? Are you hungry? He said, you never got it. You never got it. I was like, oh, well, I never got it.
How long were you together?
26 years.
Wow.
Yeah. My wife and I are coming up on our 25th this coming up year. So
I just divorced from my fourth wife, so we're good.
You should just stop that now.
Yeah. I think I'm an asshole. I don't know.
I'm
just
live.
not gonna. You don't need to be married to people. You don't.
Right.
You don't have to marry.
I'll be right back, y'all. I'll be right back.
No,
like I have a boyfriend, but I don't have to be married to him. You know.
Right. Exactly. I'm an asshole. I'm rough to live with. I'm a lot to handle.
And don't live with
as
him.
you are. Yeah.
I don't live with my boyfriend, and I never will, because I like my house.
Right.
Take your shit and your dirty clothes and all the go to your
right.
Own.
Yeah, get your toothbrush and get. Yeah, thanks for switching that, Tim. I don't like me on the left. Oh my gosh.
So, have you all ever seen a TV show called Upload?
No.
Oh my God! Watching this show makes me want to write a book in the world that they created, because it's amazing. So essentially, you can take your consciousness, like your person.
Oh, I've seen yes, I have seen this. Yes,
and upload it to these worlds that have been created online. So you essentially can go into this world. There's different worlds that you could go into, and you live there. You can taste, you can smell, you can manipulate, and
that sounds like a book that I read.
And you live in these things, but there's some other parts of the story.
But fun.
Right. But I think at some point that will be possible.
But would you want to, though?
God, why wouldn't you?
Here's the thing.
Think of all the things you could experience.
But can you actually physically feel and taste and all that kind of stuff?
To the people that are uploaded, it's real to them. So, when you go into this virtual reality, whatever you want to call it, it's real to you.
But is it really like that Avatar where you're just in a pod and you just think it all?
Nope. In this show, though, you're when they scan you, because it's kind of a quirky,
Damn, you're fucking with me right now. Come on, man.
So your head actually gets eaten by this machine. It's around, so you lose your head. So they have what's called suiscan, where you basically you commit suicide just so that you can be scanned into this thing. But once you're there, it's like, you'll go to this like a cooler that has drinks in it, and you can swipe to change the items that are in there. But you have to pay for everything, even after you're in there.
Can you talk to other people?
Yes. And you can talk to the outside world, and they can talk to you. And
this sounds very much. I read a book called The Midnight Library, and the idea of it was this woman was she was committing suicide because her life was not going, and when she woke up, She said, am I dead? And she said, not yet. And the librarian was her childhood librarian. And she said, but where am I? She said, you're in the library, dear. And she said, yeah, but I thought, is this heaven? And she said, no. She said, you could try on another life. Like, what if you made other choices? What if you would have married that guy? This is the life that you would have led with him. What if you would have not dropped out of college? This is your, and she could jump into those lives and see if she liked them, and she could pick one, or she could go back to her life. And it was a fascinating story. And at the end, when she was like dying, like her body was dying, she went back. She like decided she didn't like this life she was in and went back to the library, and the library was coming apart. The books were falling off the shelves, and the librarian was gasping. And she said, you need to make a choice. And so, but that's what it sounds like. You could pick all the choices that you didn't make. You could try them out.
So I mean, kind of, that's similar, yes, but I assume the lady was still alive somewhere.
She was still alive somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So in this instance, you could actually upload yourself into a carrying case, right, and go to a different place. So somebody in the real world can carry you, and you're saved on this like hard drive and put you into another world. And then you know, and you don't lose your memories. You just go in there, so you can travel around. They even have like these tablets that people can carry so that you can watch the outside, the real world, while somebody else is walking around. Upload is the name of it. Yeah, it's Amazon Prime, I believe.
Listen,
it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a great show.
Y'all need to find Jesus because he's fixing to come back. Okay,
I found him, and he's in Upload. Because they call it heaven, you know. Okay. You get to go to heaven. No, it's
if you see him, Ron, tell him to come to my house. I have quite a few pointed questions.
Oh, that's the first place I'm gonna tell him. You need to go see Nadine because she needs to be saved.
My first question would be, who are the real chosen people?
No, I think there are no chosen people because God doesn't choose people; He murders them. So let's be honest.
Whoa,
Jesus Christ, Nadine!
No, he drowns them for sure.
Right? No, I think about that.
Think how cold-hearted that is. He told this 800-year-old man to build a fucking boat, and then after he got all these animals, and answer that question: how did the fucking penguins get to this boat from Antarctica?
It was all one thing.
Did they walk? Did they walk? They can't fly. Did they walk?
People have answers for this, though.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. They probably also take drugs. They probably have those meth teeth too. Yeah. Anyway, but then God loved these people so much that He let them drown.
Right. It was for their own sake because they were heathenistic savages.
Yeah,
do y'all really think that people
really bad? So I'm gonna kill some of my kids because
do y'all really think that these people like Langford and Hearn really believe this bullshit?
I don't know, because you can never know what somebody actually believes. But when you put into practice what is supposed to be the teachings of Christ, they aren't doing it.
I think they do. I think James Langford is absolutely sincere in his belief in Jesus, which I think is absurd. Yeah, it's scary.
But their ideology,
people who are running the government believe in this bullshit.
But their ideology is actually different than the Bible suggests.
And they would like very much to beat us over the head with their Bible and make us be a religious country. They want us to be Israel, but for Christians.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Ecumenical Order of Christ?
Oh, Nadine? My God.
No.
Oh, we're going there. Okay. So it's this group. They actually believe that Jesus has come. It's this guy named.
It's so bad.
It's Rael or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Rael. And so they believe, and this is actually quite interesting, bad, that Jesus wasn't, all of the gods or whatever were aliens. And there's this galactic federation that Enki and Enlil were, basically God and the devil, if you will. And so God came here and seeded this planet with his DNA, using some of the primates that were here to create humans to work as slaves, basically to mine gold for their planet, because their planet
it's Scientology
or whatever. So then, but once he was that went against the Galactic Federation's laws, right? You're not allowed to use your seed.
Right. Look at her. She's laughing, Tim.
Just wait. Just hear me out. Okay. So then once they discovered that people, we were created in God's image, or this, alien, they were like, well, we can't kill them because we would be killing ourselves. So you have a certain amount of time to get them to be better like us, where where you don't do all of these crazy, sadistic things to each other or whatever. And that was the task. And because some had argued, either Anki or Enlil's like, no, we need to just kill them now, right? Instead of just letting them flourish and kill each other. So they're like, no, we'll give them a chance to make it right. So they think that that's where, like, the Bible came from, was to.
Did they wear tracksuits and sneakers and they waited for the spaceship to come pick them up?
That I don't know, but have you seen Ancient Aliens?
No, Tim really believes that this is the reason. Tim, I'm not.
I don't believe. What do you think?
No,
I've never said that I believe that.
No, I don't believe. No, Tim doesn't believe that. He believes that this is the reason that religion is the way it is. I guess.
No. I'm just telling you what another group of people believe, and to me, this is more likely than the current religion.
Right.
Here's what I think.
It makes more sense. What Tim is saying makes more sense.
This is where I believe religion came from. I believe that there were some cave people. Let's just call them cave people, and they were wandering around. And one of the cave people said to somebody else, and there's always the smartest person in the room, right? Think the smartest person in the room. They said, I wonder what the lights up there in the sky are. And the smartest person in the room said, God told me that they are the fires of the people who have died before us. Because he realized that if you could make up a whole situation, but you know what that God does, then you are the most powerful person in the room.
Right. But you had no idea what what was going on.
No, you're just making shit up.
Storytellers.
Just making shit up.
Right.
Because I believe that the Bible is written as allegory. You're supposed to learn things. That's what religion is about. We have to teach you lessons and you have to learn things. But it's not real. Noah's Ark isn't real. An 800-year-old man. If you're...
Yeah.
800, right.
People don't live to be 800 now. Are you telling me the science and the medical care was so much better back in Noah's day? Bullshit.
But that's because they had the Garden of Eden.
Yeah. Right.
It gave everlasting life. And
the fruit.
And
Eve
somehow
there
were whole nations and there were gobs of people that were never talked about in the Bible. Is God created earth and then almost immediately flooded the shit.
Well, I hope there were people other than the people in the Bible, because then otherwise everybody comes from Adam and Eve and their two sons. Think about that just for 3 seconds.
That's why we're all fucked up, because we're all brother and sister. Yeah. So let me okay. So I'm gonna point something out to people. Maybe they don't understand this, but I'm gonna go to the beginning of Genesis. Right.
How far between
in the beginning
to
God created heaven and earth? I'm gonna go
to fucking up earth and drowning everybody.
So Adam and Eve was in the second verse, and we're gonna get to Noah within like 5 pages. So Cain and Abel,
really?
Cain and Abel was in the 4th verse.
Noah, are you comfortable with this, Nadine?
Noah in the flood.
I can go get my Bible
on the 6th. No,
wow. On the 6th day.
Well, on the 6th verse. So literally in 4 or 5 pages, God went from creating earth to killing all of the people.
Shut the fuck up.
And if you read it, because I started reading the Bible again.
I know you did. Yeah.
If you read the whole Bible, it'll change your world.
So it's weird because like Genesis spans this first few pages spans apparently this god awful amount of time where it populated the earth with people. But then after that, it slows down and you start getting into like specific stories and stuff,
Yeah.
which
See, but if you read the stories, and especially in the Old Testament, God was a vengeful motherfucker.
right.
He wanted to be the top dog, and don't you be talking to any other gods, and don't be doing anything I don't like, because I will strike you dead.
Right, which I always thought was funny because you're not supposed to be jealous.
But God's jealous. Hoo-hoo.
Sure enough,
Y'all
one of the
fucking
commandments-
atheists. Man, y'all are
Uh,
atheists. God
so-
damn.
And then when I come across Christians who want to like beat me over the head with their Bible, I'm like, listen, go home, open up your Bible, only read the red parts. Only read the red parts. That's the only part that matters. The red parts that Jesus said. The
And
rest is all.
I've
nonsense.
actually had preachers tell me that.
And
Yes.
don't forget that Abraham had sex with his wife's slave.
Yes.
What's wrong with that?
Well, it's a slave.
There's a documentary that I wanted to get funded because slavery is okay in the Bible. So is abortion.
It
No,
is.
it's not. No,
Yeah,
it's not.
it sure as fuck is. I'll prove it to you.
Oh my God.
I'll
No,
prove
it's
it to you.
not.
yeah.
Yes, it
No,
is.
it's not. Is it really?
Both
Yep.
for but now, and I made this point on Twitter, and somebody was like, "That's only for the Israeli law. That's only for," and I'm like, "No, bullshit.
It's in the Bible.
Israeli law says you can't enslave other Jews, but you can enslave everybody else."
Fuck off. No, it's
Yes.
not.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
Right.
As long as you're like
And
the
there
God's chosen people, you can't be
Nope.
enslaved.
Nope. It gave rules for everybody else as to how you're supposed to treat your slave. But when you bring this shit up,
In the Bible?
In the Bible.
yes. When you bring this up, people are like, "Yeah, but."
When Mark McBride and people in the legislature bring up the Bible and stuff, they're like,
Yeah. They
So,
pick and choose. It's
just
very
hold
easy
on.
to cherry pick parts of the Bible that make your argument while you
Right.
ignore
"That's
other parts.
bullshit. Are you
If you're
serious?"
not reading the whole thing, yeah. Here you go. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he is to serve you for 6 years, but in the 7th year he shall go free. Hebrew.
Fuck off. Are you
Very
serious?
specific. Yeah, without paying anything. If he comes alone, he is free to go alone. But if he has a wife when he comes, she is to go with him. If his master gives him a wife and she bears him sons or daughters, the woman and her child shall belong to her master, and only the man shall go free. But if the servant declares, "I love my master and my wife and children and do not want to go," blah, blah, blah. So this is related specific to
Hebrew slaves.
Hebrew slaves. There are there's multiple parts of it. Let me go to Leviticus.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm serious. I'll read them.
This is like the King James Bible?
Yes. This is the Maxwell leadership.
Oh, yeah.
This is like expensive shit here. 25.
Seriously, if people are like fucking, this is what rules the world?
Yes.
25. Let's see.
And then you could get. I have a Catholic Bible because the Christians don't like the Catholic Bible because it contains books that they don't
But
like.
aren't Catholics
Here you go.
Christians?
Here you go. Here you go.
Yes, Catholics are Christians.
Here you go.
But you see, you have to remember that Catholics, and this will drive people insane, Catholics were the first Christians. It was the first church.
Yep.
And then Martin Luther popped up and was like, "I don't like your fucking laws, and I have to buy, sins, and that's not the way it should be. It should
Right,
be
because
this way."
people couldn't read in that time. So the only way they could hear the word of God from the
It's like-
Bible was
like
going to church. And they lied. Once
Yes.
people actually read the fucking thing, they were like, "Wow, you guys just made up a bunch of shit."
And that's when they became Protestants.
Yep.
They protested.
No, seriously?
Yes.
Yes, this is history. So let me read this to you. If any of your fellow Israelites become poor and are unable to support themselves among you, help them as you would a foreigner and stranger so they can continue to live among you. Do not take interest or any profit from them, but fear your God so that they may continue to live among you. You must not lend them money at interest or sell them food at profit. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan and to be your God. If any of your fellow Israelites become poor and sell themselves to you, do not make them work as slaves. They are to be treated as hired workers or temporary residents among you, which this actually contradicts what it said earlier in Exodus that I read. They are to work for you until the year of Jubilee. Then they and the children will be released. Because the Israelites are my servants, whom I brought out of Egypt, they must not be sold as slaves. Do not rule over them ruthlessly, but fear your God. Your male and female slaves are to come from the nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of the temporary residents living among you and members of the clans born in your country, and they will become your property. You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property and can make them slaves for life, but you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly.
Yep.
It's serious. And that's why a lot of people are like, yeah, but that's the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the Old Testament that they want to use. And you should
Right.
Google this, Tim. Have you seen the documentary called 1946 about when they changed the Bible to include homosexuality because it was never included?
No.
Yeah. 1946.
Yeah, because there's a lot of LGBT pride parades in Israel.
Yes. Because they changed the word, and it was in Aramaic. What it meant was basically somebody who was lustful, somebody who was just always wanting to have sex. So they changed it to having sex with men. It was actually more likely the Aramaic was more closely translated to being a pedophile.
Well,
so they changed it to take the pedophile out and put a homosexual in.
So
they hate gays that much.
What was the word that was used to describe somebody? I can't. It's like the Nephilim or something, where they were neither man nor woman. This is described in the Bible, by the way.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
is.
Let's see. What were those who had
what
no
you just
gender?
read, Tim? The only thing I got out of that was you shouldn't charge them interest.
And you shouldn't
that was
enslave
only
Jews. You should enslave your neighbors.
Right. That was only Israelites that wanted to sell themselves to you because they were poor.
But here's my thing. They're talking about interest 2,000 years ago.
Yep.
Right. And okay, this is going to come across very anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Okay. I acknowledge this.
No, go ahead, Jucifer. Go ahead, Jucifer.
The Bible is talking about Jews and controlling money and dealing out interest related to Jewish people.
I mean, if it walks like a duck and it looks like a duck, it's probably a fucking duck.
I mean,
Nadine, you're from New Jersey.
It's true.
Oh my God. Let me see.
I'm not anti-Semitic. I don't fucking even know a Jew. I called Tim a Jew because he is a Jew. He don't fucking spend any money. Is that what?
That's anti-Semitic.
That's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, that's if people call me an anti-Semite, it's bullshit because I'm like, I don't even know any Jewish people.
I don't either. There's no Jews in Oklahoma.
Sure, there are. Yes, there are.
There's
not.
Loads. Yes, there are.
There's temples here, so there must be Jews.
No, there's not, Nadine.
Yes, there are in Oklahoma City. There's a temple.
Oklahoma City, but that's fucking.
There's
that's
a
not,
temple in Tulsa. Oh, fuck.
So racism is like a learned behavior, right?
Yeah, I guess I learned
children don't. Babies, they don't wake up and they're like, oh, hey, fuck you, because of that. I'm not suckling that titty. They don't care.
I can't believe you said titty when we had Nadine on.
Well, what you said.
There is absolutely a Jewish temple, Temple Israel, in Tulsa.
No, there's not. Is there really?
Yeah.
Anyway, so my point being
East 22nd place in Tulsa.
I've never had any interaction with somebody that did something negative to me in any way that would cause me to have any negative feelings about that person or their race.
No.
And all my life, in fact,
I wouldn't judge an entire race of people or group of people by the actions of a single person.
What?
Right. Or their government but let's be honest. Are there any other states that are based solely around a religion and or race?
Well, Saudi Arabia is an Islamic state. And there's a lot of like Afghanistan, there's a
You
lot
can't-
of
You
Islamic
can't like
states.
it. You can't like Islamic shit.
Why? Why not?
Why? I don't care. I think all religions are
Death to
bullshit.
Americans? Come
Who
on
gives
now.
it? Yeah, some of them. Why not?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Nadine.
There are definitely some Americans that need
Okay.
some killing.
So
Oh my God.
here's some
That's
some
not true. I
context.
think killing people is wrong. So
I know.
So there's some context there. We were talking about empathy earlier
yeah,
and sympathy. I can understand reactions of people when the United States goes in and fucking bombs all of these countries into oblivion for decades.
Yeah.
We're talking what, 30, 40 years now.
Oh yeah.
So at some point you start creating your own terrorists that hate you.
Right.
So
Oh, yeah,
You
we
create the problem.
terrorists. We
Yeah.
create terrorists all
And-
over the world that hate us.
and that's why people are saying that Israel doing this, and if they go in and try to annex the land, and if they don't treat the Palestinians with respect, they're creating their own fucking problem down the line.
They have been since
Right.
for 77 years. And you're talking about people who are fighting with rocks and slingshots
Right.
and their own bodies.
Yeah.
So it's just awful.
No,
Well, that's what you
it's-
say, Nadine, though.
So,
It's true.
CNN says something different.
I've been following this from the beginning, right? Whenever, a rocket landed in Israel and they show a video of it, this rocket will take out like a window
Yeah.
and will do like, soot on the outside of the building. Doesn't even catch the damn building on fire. They make these rockets homemade in their country using like fertilizer and sugar and shit.
Yeah, like and
For the
out of
rocket.
like pipes that you could go buy at Home Depot,
Right.
like fireplace pipes. I mean,
So it's like a really big, if you were to take sparklers and wrap them
yeah,
in duct tape
yeah.
and then wrap them with string and you light one of those fuckers. Have you ever done that?
No,
Oh, it's a boom.
Oh, yeah.
It's a massive explosion.
really.
You're from New Jersey. You're not from Oklahoma, obviously.
Yeah. So
No,
I imagine
you can't
that-
buy fireworks in New Jersey. It's against the law.
Fucking communist. Tim, here's the thing though.
You also
With-
can't pump your own gas, and it costs just as much as it does here. It's cheap gas that you just sit in your car and say, "Please fill it up with regular, and can you clean the windshield?"
Here's
Yeah.
the devil's advocate on this. How do you know that Hamas is wrapping sparklers and doing this shit and not
No.
being funded by Iran?
No, so I just use that as an example of the explosive power of their rockets is about the equivalent of maybe like, I don't know, 10 or 20 of those sparkler bombs. It's not very big. These rockets are not very big. So
Israel
if-
has missiles from us.
right, if they had been funded by Iran, they wouldn't
would
be
have
making homemade rockets.
Yeah.
They
And
would.
they wouldn't be throwing rocks at bulldozers.
Right. And I can understand the reaction that Hamas did. I don't agree with doing that. I think Yasser Arafat was on a better pathway, and I think they knew it. And that's why they created Hamas, because they needed to turn them into the violent people they wanted
Yeah.
everybody to think they were.
Okay,
Yeah, because while everybody's paying attention to what's happening in Gaza, they're still killing people in the West Bank where there's no Gaza.
No,
There's no Hamas.
there's no Hamas. Right.
That's the Palestinian. It's not authority. Is it
Okay.
authority? Yeah.
The PLO
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
in the
The
West.
PLO is
yeah.
dead. Yeah. So now
Right.
it's the Palestinian Authority. So the
Let me
PA
s-
is owning the West Bank. There's no Hamas over there, and they're
Right.
still killing people there and taking land because that's what they want. The goal is all of it.
Let me say this to y'all. The two liberal atheists, there is nothing that you two can do or say to anybody in the United States that's going to change the United States stance backing Israel.
Well, that's like saying that our vote doesn't matter. It does. Our voice matters because
Yeah, it does because there's thousands of people, and you won't see it on the news, and that's the really sad and disturbing thing.
That's
have
what I
to
want
look
y'all to
at-
say. Come on.
You have to
Come on.
look at Al Jazeera. You have to look at the BBC. You have to look at NPR. But there are protests all over this country every single day.
You have to do your
Hundreds
own
of
research.
because the news will not report it because
Right.
the go line is we support Israel. But actually, in the United States, it's iffy. I'm not going to say it's 50-50, but it's rapidly approaching 50.
Well, and here's the thing. When people learn about the history of Israel and Palestine, because a lot of them don't know, when they learn about it, that seed gets planted and they start thinking, well, shit, I can understand why they would be mad too.
And that's what I told my kids. I said, they basically said, here, your country has lost the war. The people that run your government lost the war, and now you're your own country, and we're going to help you make a country. And the Palestinian people said, okay, boss. And then they gave half of their country away. And the kid in my class said, what? I said, yeah. See, there were people in England that were saying, we need a country because we have this group. We have this political group and we want a country, but we want this country. It's like, yeah, but we're not, we could give you this country. No, we don't want that country. We want this particular country. And then lo and behold, France didn't get the mandate for Palestine. England did. That's where the Zionist organization was based, in England. What a coincidence. And then they gave away half their country. And the kid in my class said, you can't just give away a country. I said, apparently you can.
Right. The
Apparently,
UN
Yeah,
did it.
yeah, it's been done for years.
And
Yeah.
here's something that Republicans, have to reconcile with themselves, is that by saying that Israel exists, you now are saying that the UN has the right to create nations,
to partition countries
and
into
partition countries,
Yeah.
of their own accord,
against the will of the people, because the Palestinian people fought for years against the British partitioning their country. They did not want to give up their country. And they're still fighting. And I still will always say that if the same thing happened here, if the southern half of the United States got carved out by a third party and given to a group of people from, I don't know, China, the people that live in the south of southern part that got given away, they would never fight for 75 years. I know maybe a handful of people that would fight for their country for 75 years. And those people are still fighting. Some of those people weren't even born. Right. They don't know anything from Palestine, and they're still fighting for their country.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like,
history there.
They're like, they're teaching their kids how to hate Israelis. And I'm like, I think Israelis do a pretty damn good job of teaching those people to hate them.
Yeah.
Just based on the way they treat them. So I just learned that that Jews, or Zionists, I guess I should say, during this time.
No, my God. Well, maybe.
Well, it would have been the Zionists because they were the ones trying to create nations everywhere. They were offered a place in Uganda, and they were offered a place in Siberia.
Yeah.
They said no to both.
Yeah.
Why would you say yes to any
of Madagascar and Australia?
They were offered all kinds of different places, and because they wanted a state, they wanted a Zionist state, and people were genuine. Partly because after World War II, there was a lot of refugee Jews that nobody wanted, so they were like, "Hey, what about this? How about this? Do you want this? What does this look like to you?"
Nope.
Well, let me ask y'all this: I don't know anything about Jewish people. Why does the United States love the Jews so much? I know about the prophecy and stuff, but why was I taught from a little boy? I mean, I remember this from like 6, 7 years old. Israel, the wars, we have to back Israel.
I know, because they're a democratic state. They're the only democracy in the Middle East, and we have to support them. They're not a democracy. They're a theocracy, but who gives a shit?
But that's what it's sold as, right?
They're not Muslim. They're not. They're like us. It's an Abrahamic religion. They're not Muslims.
Right. And think of it this way, from a military strategic standpoint, they now have a democracy that they're allied with in the Middle East, right in the fucking middle of all of them.
Yeah.
So now they have a place that's right on the coast that they can launch strikes from, they can do things from, and and deal with oil shit in the
So
region.
this is to spread democracy, but it's really about fucking oil.
I mean,
About oil, yeah.
yeah,
Israel sits on a lot of oil, and you know what they don't do? Pump it out of the ground. It's right underneath Israel. And when everybody else starts running out of oil, guess who will have oil?
right.
There's
Shut
no oil
up.
wells.
Seriously?
Go Google it. Go find out how much oil reserve is under the state of Israel.
I imagine it's fucking
A
a
lot.
lot. Yeah.
It's and that at least half of that should go to the Palestinian people.
Tim, are you a supporter of Hamas?
I don't support anybody but myself, to be honest with you.
I know, I don't either. Yeah, but
I
that's
support
what
the
people.
Palestinian
That's what
people,
people say
and
to you, though, right?
I think all this conversation is going to make me go on Etsy and buy this T-shirt. Maybe I'll buy a baseball hat because now I live in Oklahoma.
No, but like,
let's be honest here.
That says make Israel Palestine again.
So if Martin Luther King hadn't been so appreciated by a lot of white people in government at the time, you would have gotten Malcolm X.
right?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what we're dealing with here.
No, that's the complete truth.
You tried the peaceful route, and then you end up, they offered you a carrot. Now you're going to get a stick.
You can only put people in a closed space for so long and keep them desperate and give them just enough food to survive, but not enough to thrive, and watch their children not get an education, and watch their children get sick and not be able to get better, and do that to people until they finally say, I don't give a shit. I will strap a bomb to my chest. I've had enough.
Right. I mean, you're talking about
maybe you don't know people here because we don't have that. We don't have that passion. As long as you have a good internet connection and there's a Target nearby, people will pledge allegiance to whatever flag you give them.
Yeah. I mean, because it's to them, it doesn't take any effort to say I'm pro-Israel.
Yeah.
And you just toe the party line.
There you go.
Just go
and
along
part of
with
the
it.
problem is, and I'm gonna have to go because my computer is gonna die. Part of the problem is why it's so easy for Americans to just, we should bomb the shit out of them, spam them back to the Stone Age, because we've never been bombed.
But it's Democrats and Republicans.
It's Americans. We've never been bombed.
Right.
We have never hid in our basements and hoped to God the house wouldn't fall on us while another country bombed us and took over land in our country. We have never had that happen to us. And maybe we need it.
Well, I know you got to go because your computer's fixing to die, but we have got to have you back on when we get unbanned or whatever.
All right.
But, yeah. I love you, Nadine. Tell Amanda that I said please come back on too.
I will tell her.
Yeah, we'd like to have you both on. I mean,
yeah, absolutely, 100%.
That'd be fun. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up the show then. I'll go ahead and pull you out. Me and Ron are going to finish off like we do.
All right.
We really appreciate your time,
Thank
Nadine.
you so much.
We've been on here 2.5 hours. So,
and for everybody that's watching, Nadine, school teacher, salt of the earth. She believes in Christian values, and she voted for Ryan Walters.
I believe in Christian values, not Christianity. I think Christians pervert Christian values.
Stop, Nadine.
I think the most Christian people I have ever met are atheists.
That's probably true. Probably true.
The Christian values that everybody wants to push, we have to be honest with ourselves and say that those are universal moral principles.
Yes, and
you're born with it. Yeah,
and every religion supports them.
Yeah,
right. And even atheists too, like that one guy that he was shocked that I would try to remove what I deemed as pornographic material from the school.
Yeah.
And I also wanted, before we go, I've got to put this back up there.
Oh, fuck this picture, man.
Bernie. Oh, I love it.
I have a tattoo of Bernie.
You do not. Show me. Show me right now.
Hold on. Let me see how I can do this.
Okay.
Oh my God, Tim.
We're gonna end the show with Bernie here.
Bernie tattoo. Oh my God.
Is it the meme? Is it the meme tattoo? Oh, nice.
What the fuck?
I love it.
Are you serious, Nadine?
I love it.
Yep, it's the outline of his hair.
It is. Oh my God. I love Bernie. I love Bernie. I'm not gonna say anything bad about Bernie.
With a pride, a rainbow pride stripe through it.
Yeah, and
if you're ever watching this, reach out to me because I would
We
just
Nadine,
love to
you need to
meet
reach out to Bernie and have him come on the show with us.
Bucket list.
I'm friends with his son on Facebook.
Yeah, reach out, try to make that
reach out.
connection.
Yeah, no, oh my God.
Oh God, then I have to talk too for sure.
Could you imagine?
Oh my God.
Our first 7-hour episode would be with Bernie.
Exactly.
Okay. That would be amazing.
Oh, he was completely fangirl over Bernie. Yeah.
Oh no, I love that guy.
I hugged him. I was like, "Oh, Bernie."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Y'all are retarded. Anyway.
Don't say that, Ron.
I'm sorry, ridiculous. I'm sorry, ridiculous.
He's probably the purest politician I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree. I agree.
About working people.
Well, and he wasn't even rich until he wrote his book.
So many years ago, and I'm going to find it and I'll send it to you on Facebook. It's a meme of all the fat cats. It's Mobil and Exxon and big corporations, and they're all sitting down around a table playing a Monopoly game. And then when you zoom down and look at the table, it's just people. And the thing, it just says, "Just stand up."
Oh,
yeah. Nice. Yeah,
I love Bernie. He wasn't rich until he wrote his book a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I know. I have
people gave him shit for it.
I have all of his books. So
yeah, Republicans gave him shit over it. Oh, look, he's a millionaire. Oh,
he is now because all the liberals bought his book.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Well,
thank you so much. Talk to you later.
Yeah, we'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
God, I love that lady, dude.
I think this was our longest episode. So to those watching, if you watch the whole thing, good on you. We just kept it going.
I love that lady. I love her.
Just a good conversation with somebody who just keeps it real.
And I didn't even agree with her on some things, but we still had the conversation.
Yeah, it's she's a great person.
I love Nadine. We've got to get her and Amanda on.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. We can go for another. Dude, if we could get Bernie on the show.
Oh my God, she has hugged Bernie, dude. You would completely fangirl out on Bernie.
Oh yeah, I would. I probably wouldn't even know what to say. Right? Yeah. No, he just to me, he's just a solid dude. That's all I can say.
Maybe we should reach out to Bernie.
Yeah, we could.
What does he have to lose at this point?
Nothing.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, I'm going to get out of here too. It's almost 9 o'clock. But to everybody out there, we apologize that the communists got to us. They censored us. We can't go live on Facebook, so you have to watch us on YouTube.
It sucks, and this is not like it's not a marketing tool. Facebook censored us.
Right. Just straight out. You can't go live. Oh, you can't do ads. You can't make phone calls because you're a fucking terrorist.
Right.
That's basically what they said. And I did a video about it. You can go to the Liberal Loudmouth on YouTube and see the video I did.
And if you are following the real Ron, I shared that video where you can see it and Tim explains it. But this is not like a ploy. This is Facebook has censored us. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, we're going to get out of here. We're going to make an announcement for our next episode. What's coming on?
So Bernie Sanders. I'm going to get Bernie Sanders on here, man.
So,
can you imagine, dude?
That I can't imagine. I mean, I would love to imagine, but no.
Would you wear like a suit and a jacket or whatever? Or
I mean, I'd wear clothes like I always wear, but
okay.
Bernie's just too cool.
I love Bernie.
He's too big for us, though.
Nah, I don't know. We'll see.
He might come on. That'd be fun.
It would be his type of thing, though. I think.
Oh, and we would have to let him speak the whole time because I could listen to that man talk for hours.
100%.
All right, everybody, we're gonna get out of here. We appreciate you watching, and we will catch you next time.
See ya.
Peace.